Hello, and welcome. Hi, guys.
I didn't know we'd started.
Well, it's like almost 30 seconds ago when I was like, are you guys ready? And you were all like, yeah.
Usually you say, okay, we're going on.
Well,
designing houses.
a fucking surprise round. Scott, can you... How was I even controlling that? I mean, never mind, it's fine. Look, hopefully it's fine. I just stuck my head in the camera, your camera. Look, it's fine. Okay. Welcome back to the Rat Project's Dungeons and Dragons here on twitch.tv/BishopAU. And welcome back, you guys. Tim, Lockie, Jordan, Scott.
I thought you just flipped off the crowd then.
Flipped off the crowd.
Clan sign.
Welcome to episode 2 of our brand new campaign.
So much ready.
Gamer tag.
We've had a little bit of a recovery since... Oh, I just realised my microphone is... I don't know, is my microphone fine? Maybe it's fine. Who knows? The sound last week...
Oh, last night. What?
The sound last week was actually the only thing that I wasn't ashamed of. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
The putting the mics overhead seems to have worked wonders for capturing you guys. But...
Everything else is a fucking shambles.
Yes, everything else from episode 1 was a fucking disaster, but we're just going to pretend it didn't happen and move on with our lives. Anyway, no, look, it's fine. I think the computer's working. My camera's still a little bit laggy, but I think we can deal with that. So, last week, the party formed together a...
Mega party.
Not really an alliance. You guys sort of just kicked it together because you needed something to do. And
we made a pretty good alliance.
Sure.
Kinda.
Scott and I are married.
Yeah. I forgot to bring my earplugs from work on
and after arriving,
I forgot about that.
What am I talking about?
I'm blaming you for that, Scott.
Okay, so that's the other thing too.
Like
Normally, these recaps, once we get a little bit deeper in there, will actually be the animated map recaps, which will play at the start, like when we're playing. But I'm not going to do them for the first little bit because there's not enough to warrant the editing that goes into making them.
Last week, our party members met.
Yeah, it would literally be like, last week the adventurers arrived and made their way to Calavan. And then it would be it. But it takes longer to render the video than it would to actually do it. So
we'll try.
Last week, the party arrived on board the Kestrel to Port Yellis after, well, not on board the Kestrel actually, after being intercepted by what appeared to be a pirate ship, boarded, and the ship that you were travelling on taken away. After being sent onto the lifeboats, you were then rescued by a large warship, which then took you to Port Yellis and dropped you off at the small, sleepy merchant town, where after spending a little bit of time getting to know each other, having a few drinks at the inn, found some sort of work and travel arrangement to make your way to Calavan, which is on the opposite coast of the island.
Who's got that?
And is
I do.
a large, the old capital, actually.
What's the new capital?
So the capital got changed a little while ago to Ashkill Point.
Damn it.
Where's that?
After the invasion.
No, it's on another
I was
island.
going to guess that it was Lake Tulpa.
You're a lake topper.
Yeah. So, after arranging to be some form of bodyguards for a caravan headed to Calavan, you were making your way along, perhaps about halfway through the journey, when you spotted a makeshift ambush, perhaps, and after bringing the caravan to a halt, managed to scare off any would-be attackers. And
Where's my spear stuff in the ground?
continued on a little further before I'm already triggered. I've had 4 hours sleep last night, Tim. Don't fucking test me.
Hey! Wait, that is my fault.
proceeding on a little bit further, you came to about the halfway point of the journey where there are some bridges crossing a river. Now, I actually found, before we get into it, a tabletop wargaming shop based in Australia that does some cool 28mm miniatures.
This is what we were doing last night.
And
Why'd you write no?
basically they guaranteed 2-day delivery. So I was like, bam, I'll order it. This was Friday. I was like, awesome, it'll be delivered. Yeah, they guarantee 2-day shipping. They don't guarantee postage within fucking however long they want to make it. So basically it got posted yesterday. So,
Rude.
cheers, guys. Way to sell that 2-day postage stuff.
What's their name?
Yeah, I'm not going to name names because I'm probably still going to get some stuff off them, but I'm also not going to name names and people just won't go buy stuff from them, I guess.
Wait, what?
It's a lose-lose for
He's
everyone.
going to
involved.
buy stuff,
Well,
but
that's
he's
stupid.
not going to.
I'm not going to endorse it, yeah.
Yeah, but if you slag them, then they won't go there.
But then that's like.
They're not gonna know.
There's not really much choice when it comes to tabletop gaming in Australia. That's why we got a 3D printer, Tim.
True. We
Anyway,
got one. Oh, I didn't know I had part ownership in it.
that's why I have a 3D printer, Tim.
Okay.
I did offer if you guys wanted to put in, we could have got a better one. Anyway,
I was just gonna pay for some of that one.
so
My heart hurts.
So anyway, the reason I got onto that tangent is because I got like some bridges and some carts and some other stuff because I thought that might be fun and we'll be able to use them a bit, and of course they're not here yet. So
You could have got a Lego set.
instead we just have this
Probably more expensive.
road, which is fine.
It's a nicer road.
So
that is a sweet road, you'll say.
without the caravan, so what I haven't planned for is what I'm going to use to show the carts. So I guess we'll just use these, which
Fuck
is
yeah, these
fine.
are the best minis.
Yeah, we're
To be
back.
honest.
We're back, guys. We're back to using like Space Marines and fucking whatever I've got at hand.
I'm not gonna lie, they've been some of the most useful props.
They're
Really good. That's why I hold on to them. Yeah. So, the leader of the caravan sat upon the first
To solve.
thing. Do you guys want to throw your minis on as well? You guys were
Yeah.
spaced here.
What was
there.
the first port that we landed in again called?
Yasia. Port Yasia.
Wasn't it?
Yellis.
something else.
Sorry. Port Yellis.
See, Yellis reminds me of Stanley Yelnats from Hulls.
I was actually, I was on the back, I know that much.
Yellis?
The back of the
Did
first
you
part.
just
Yeah.
make the holes worth it?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, Scott, are you gonna swap between the miniatures like when you're using different weapons?
Maybe.
Like, do you actually have a Morning Star, which you'll be like,
No, he's got a morning star and a sword at the same time.
that's fucking OP. You
Arabella.
can't use that one.
And a shield on his back. So you still have the shield bonus.
I don't think that's how it works.
Can't be attacked from behind.
No backstabs.
So-
oh, TF2.
Let's go to this.
So raise the back.
And we're going to kick this week off with everyone rolling initiative.
whoa!
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, we.
As
You reckon the table's still
This
slightly too high?
Oh, that about
that was sorry out of the blue. I'm not sure if you're being
Oh,
genuine
no,
or
I
not.
actually kind of am.
It is a little bit higher than the old table.
Yeah.
I like it though.
I don't know.
I think this is a good height. That's not me being
Like I was saying to
smart
Tim
ass.
though, we're probably going to change these chairs out
Yeah.
soon, so don't stress too much. I will try and get you a bit more comfortable chairs because
Maybe
I know you
about
have
2
that.
mil off. We'll feel better.
2.
Yeah, just
2 mil.
off each leg.
Nah.
So
About 10. Scott, about 10 inches.
He'd be that one fucking person that complains out on site for it being a mil off.
Who's this?
Scott.
Yeah, you would be. If he was ever an inspector, you would have a hell of a time.
Oh fuck! This is 1.9995
It's not German.
diagonal.
can I have initiatives 20 to 25?
Oh, fuck, I'm wrong.
20.
God damn it. It's cocked!
I'm still getting used to everyone's.
Now play the d4.
Oh, it doesn't work! God damn, that's worse!
No, now you have to take it.
15 to 20.
Go with shit rolls out the way.
20. 15 to 20.
Taking that as a no.
We are
Oh, okay.
We are listening.
You just keep saying it doesn't mean your initiative's gonna change.
See, the thing is, I'm so used to you guys just not fucking paying any attention that I just assumed you were still talking shit.
What?
So I've gone from a +6 on initiative to +0. So
Nice.
Oh, that must
plus
be
one
real
to a
shit.
plus
yeah,
one.
that is fucking shit.
I've gone from a +1 to a +1.
Yeah, same.
I've gone severely fucked downhill.
I've had advantage on it, and I don't have advantage on it.
Yeah. Welcome back to
We
level
roll
3.
shit with their fucking advantage anyway.
10 to 15.
11.
Should have died.
Yeah.
It's nice knowing you all.
Yeah.
At least I'll
5
give
to
you
10?
Yeah, 7.
Roll 7.
You're both 7.
Yep. And do you have a dex modifier?
Yeah.
No, okay, I don't.
Friendly players can decide who goes first. You don't have to go to you.
If you want to go before me, I don't really give a shit.
No, you get to run and off you go.
Okay.
Right at him from the back cart.
Literally the furthest one away.
Okay, so
You got a lot of
Harrison,
running to do.
Yes.
you are the quickest to react as an arrow flies out from behind. It was a bridge last week, but seeing we don't have a bridge, I'm going to say it's a tree. Flies out from behind the tree and woof, across and thuds into the caravan driver. And with that,
Big
you can do whatever you would like to do.
Why are these like there and not there?
He missed.
Oh, I'm not going to get even close enough to attack, so...
You don't look through it at the light through one ways again too.
Nope. Can't see from the last
alright.
one.
Fuck, they're really far away.
Yeah.
So the caravan is still moving.
Yeah,
at this
that's
point.
what I figure.
You do realise my Eldritch Blast has a range of 300 feet.
No.
Alright, lay down your weapons and we won't have to fight.
Okay.
You don't want to take us on, trust me. And then I'm going to hold an action for when the caravan moves to jump out and attack them.
Okay, so once you're within range, you want to move and attack.
Yeah.
Okay, so shout it out, lay down your weapons.
Yep.
But pouncing.
Okay.
Ready to fight.
So you see one of them has this bow which is just released the arrow. The other one has sort of got this sort of a pretty shoddy looking short sword, but he's sort of just heading out, running out from behind the tree. The caravan driver...
Pull out both my weapons as I say that.
Okay.
Do you have dual swords?
No, I have a battle axe and a war pick.
Which he somehow drew from sheaths on his back.
Yeah,
Um,
don't question it.
Perfect.
No, they're magneted there.
Yeah.
So
Magnets.
on initiative 20, the carts
Imagine that.
are going to...
If you had magnets on his back, if we went through Zoom Annihilation, you just get stuck to that fucking statue.
No, they're the other way. They're the same, so they're repulsed.
They move up.
We just be away from the statue.
The carts move up, slowing down as the driver pulls on the reins and starts to bring him to a stop.
Why would he stop?
So we
Because
can
he's just been shot in the shoulder by a friggin' arrow.
Well, then fucking. Why is he stopping?
fucking heal him, Scott.
Tore.
Wait, what was your initiative?
11.
Yeah, it wasn't a fantastic initiative on anyone's behalf, really.
So didn't do too bad.
Not very good either.
Probably fucking cards for it.
The one place you're ever gonna use them. Cast flame barrier.
Okay.
I'm really annoyed that we don't have... I found these carts and I was like, man, they're fucking perfect. Just didn't fucking show up.
We could have done a character creation session.
We
For the
can-
next
we'll
campaign.
make us fucking characters.
For the next.
I'll fucking have it.
While he's waiting,
Mhm.
have you played the new Assassin's Creed?
No.
Go on.
I'm probably not going to.
It's pretty fun.
Oh, waiting, have you played Magic the Gathering?
No.
So is that the driver that got shot?
Yeah.
That's a long distance.
Yeah, unfortunately none of these are painted either because I only got around to cleaning them up today. And I haven't even finished cleaning them up. A lot of them still have
We're
birds
not.
and shit on.
Are we on top of caravans? Are we actually 10
Yeah.
feet off the ground?
You're about 5 foot off the ground.
Jump, Scott.
jump onto the second cart.
The carts are slowing. It's not like they're moving at full pace. You
Yeah.
probably could like jump off
Can't
and
really animate
sort of add a
that,
run
yeah.
at this
Hanging
point.
out's windy.
Outside.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
We'll do that.
I'm eager, honestly. It's always windy.
Yeah, you just have to take these grids with a grain of salt because they're a little bit out.
Oh,
So we
so
asking
that was
you-
only 5 feet that he moved.
Are we asking you how far we can move?
So they're still 5 foot. It's just that they're not quite the right scale. But,
Oh.
so square to square. So
Fuck me, they're ages away.
it's almost like he attacked with a ranged weapon.
How fucking dare he?
That's it for me.
Okay.
Fucking sucks.
So he watches this archer
That's
from
like a
behind the
Garth
tree,
movie.
knocks another arrow, and he's going to pop out and take another shot.
Don't do it.
I fucking warned you!
That is a hit.
Get off my fucking lawn!
He's just like, get out of my swamp! It's actually Shrek, isn't it? Have you seen that thing? It's like, Magic Might grossed $158 million. Obviously, women don't like dead bods, so it's like Shrek grossed $448 million.
Another arrow shoots across and lands in the driver of the caravan. He sort of falls to one side, letting go of the reins. The horses are still coming to a halt. These trained horses seem to react pretty well to coming to a stop. But he's let go and is now sort of half falling off the cart.
We're fucking great guards.
Pretty fucking awesome.
Agatha and Granrick.
You may as well do nothing first.
Oh, get fucked.
What are you gonna do?
I have a ranged weapon.
What is it?
It's a crossbow.
How far can you shoot it?
80 feet.
Oh, I don't reckon,
30 feet of movement.
Yeah, you could potentially move up a little bit and then
Yeah.
fire at 80 feet. Yeah.
Where would I need to move to?
So you could move up
80
to
feet away.
around here.
Yep, that sounds good. And I go for the closer one of the two.
Yeah, the guy with the bow. Yep.
Sounds good.
Yup.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that's all.
Yes, I do. 18.
What is that?
Yeah, that hits.
Isn't it hot fuzz?
Not even close. Maybe.
I'd be very surprised if you guessed it.
1d8.
Wouldn't be really a guess then, would it?
8.
8 points.
Hey, being such a low level again. And not
We're
knowing
level
what
3,
to
but
do.
it's not like we're level 1.
Yeah, but still suck.
I find low level way more fun
Yard.
than higher level stuff, but I don't know.
What do
We
you
haven't
call
really
it?
got into
Yeah.
high level stuff either.
Grim Adventures.
Cool.
Oh fuck
When
yeah.
Grim, when Bill grows another head on his like neck, and he's like, yow, yow.
Is that you?
I don't think I get 2 attacks.
No. Bonus. Anything you want to do with a
Best shadow
bonus?
in existence.
Potentially. What sort of crossbow do you have?
Light. Why is that?
Oh, it's just curious.
There's no
Just for
reloading
the
speed.
mind reel.
Wait, what?
Like, you
There's
don't have to
nothing.
take a whole action to reload a light crossbow. But you do with a heavy crossbow, I think.
So should I say that I'm reloading this?
Yeah. So I think light crossbows you reload automatically when you fire, kind of thing.
I don't think it's a bonus action.
No, I think it's just it's a part of your attack action. You load it and fire.
Yeah, cool, because I'm not.
Because I think a heavy crossbow, is that your bonus action? Must be a bonus action. 'cause-
I'm not 100% sure because who uses crossbows? Yeah. Yep. Okay.
It's not a fucking crossbow.
Granrick
it's all that.
jumps off the cart, running up about parallel with you, Agatha, sort of drawing this crossbow slung from behind his back and thump, lets a bolt loose, thudding into the archer across the way.
Pretty fucking great.
Oh, really? How much damage you do?
8.
It's not bad. For a noob.
What are you doing?
Oh, you didn't say it was my turn yet.
Fucking Christ.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Yeah? What does your... Nice. Fantastic. Well done. Is that your first roll of the game? Well done.
Well, I rolled initiative.
True.
Is that that one?
What does your... Because I'm curious. What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
Oh, I'm not gonna kill the caravan dude then. what?
And how do you... No, I'm just curious. Like, is it like finger guns or is it like an Iron Man?
Godzilla.
Nah, I mean,
Does it
that's,
come
that's
out
not
of
my
your-
character.
Do you just vomit it out?
Do you wink and it
Just
shoots out your
Beam
eye?
and crackling energy streaks towards a creature within range, so I'm just like Sith. Just,
Yeah. Just
Oh, you
the
could've
creepy,
vomited
the
it out.
creepy
That would've been
old
way cooler.
old tiefling hand.
yeah, I'm an old lady. Like, I'm not here for showbiz, guys. You need to get shit done.
Okay. So you let off this bolt of energy on the cart, rocking around. You find it a little bit hard to keep your feet, and it shoots off wide.
I rolled an 8 too, if I hit.
Feels bad. Anything else?
Cry. No, I don't think so.
There's 1d4 of healing.
Okay.
Bonus action. I've got no bonus actions. 2 weapon fighting. No, I don't do shit.
So you watch as this swordsman comes running across, and it looks like he's about to climb up. Actually, he can probably get there and dash. In theory, use his action to climb up, I guess. And he's gonna attempt to push the driver.
Would my held action have gone off?
Yes, yeah, sorry,
Fuck
it
yeah.
absolutely would have. Yep. So as he's coming up to get onto the cart, you sort of come up over the
Smack.
cargo and try and get an attack in.
Shit, that was a bad roll. 11 to hit.
11 is just enough.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We're only level 3.
And I don't get my bonus action, it's just the one.
It's just the one
Yeah.
attack, yeah.
That is 7 damage.
Okay. So as he's climbing up and attempting to push this driver across, you come over these stacks of boxes and just sort of axe in and
Surprise, motherfucker!
clip him across the shoulder. He sort of recoils, but he's still going to attempt to push out driver,
What kind of fucking samurai doesn't have a sword?
which he does.
Lots of them. Japanese people used a lot more than just katanas and
Not only
wakazashis.
katanas.
Only swords.
Their preferred weapon was a polearm.
Only swords.
I didn't say that in any of the movies I watched.
Even after being hit by this axe, this guy seems to have this adrenaline pumping. He runs up and shoves the driver out, and he's going to attempt to take control of the car. Next turn.
She's gonna fucking die.
Look at that, Jordan. In 47
Harrison,
he's got a sword.
you're up now.
Does that mean it should just
Okay.
like yes or with like the
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm not having this fucking argument.
Fucking asshole. What an asshole.
What'd you do?
No. Stop it.
You do realise you could just pick his phone up and throw it.
Alright, so I'm going to I'm gonna swing at him with the axe first,
Oh yeah, I forgot we have these, but they're not all finished yet.
which is a 12
All
to
of
hit.
what?
You'll see it in a second.
What?
Tim will see it in a second.
Oh yeah.
And now they're set up on a Elgato multi-key so that they automatically go away after like 30 seconds. Because
Sick.
I used to forget and just leave them up over the screen. It was really good.
So you've got the multi-key, the game capture, Elgato fucking deck.
Elgato, sponsor me!
So 10 damage on the first hit.
Yep.
And then with the second
I'm just
weapon,
here beating up on him.
that is a miss. On the second weapon.
Yep.
So I hit him with the axe and miss.
How much was the first one, sorry?
10
That couldn't
damage.
be any better.
Okay. As he's sort of frantically trying to grab the reins of this cart, he managed to lunge in and get another cut across one of his arms.
I don't remember what episode it made.
The driver, who's been shoved out,
And he's
he's not in a great way. He's going to stand up.
for Detroit.
He's going to try and get back in there because it is his livelihood. I just realised I've used the same mini for both of those things.
That's great.
So they are currently...
In more.
Okay, they are currently... I just rolled the same on their strength check. So they're currently like grappling each other. He's sort of got a finger into one of his eyes and they're frantically trying to push each other out of the cart.
Are they actually twins? Like, are they brothers?
Yeah, I won't,
They actually look surprisingly similar.
I won't know which one to hit. They look the same.
It's sort of hard to tell because like
Just kill both of them to make sure.
the attacker's wearing this sort of rag tied up around his face that's obscuring sort of the lower half of his face. But Tordek.
Your time to shine, scatterboy.
The carts have moved.
Sorry, yes, on
Yeah.
20 they would have, so they're...
When they come into a stop,
Yeah, so they're probably pretty much coming to a stop here.
you two got left behind.
They're back where they started. Essentially.
These
Still do
two
damage.
probably moving off to the side a little bit as they're frantically trying to stop with the first cart being pulled up.
Will I be able to see that guy if I move this way?
Yeah, yep. They're sort of like on the edge of the cart, sort of wrestling at the moment, so he's sort of half being shoved out that side.
Cool. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt.
Yep. That's... No, it's not a save for me, is it?
No, this is the roll.
But if it's guiding, be like magic yourself.
Ooh.
Is that double damage on this shit?
Yep. If it's a roll to hit,
Nice.
Is it really?
it's just if they do a saving
Wow.
throw, you can't crit. But if you roll to hit, you can still crit.
Oh, nice. So I can crit with Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, and that's some.
Fuck yeah. I don't think you can crit with any spells.
I need 8d6.
8.
Sorry, fucking
8
what?
Well, that's
Yeah, well, that's 46 and then I critted.
I got 3.
Yeah, it's
3, 4, 5.
What the fuck? We're level 3 and Scott's like, oh, Mound attack.
That's a fucking first level
Yeah, it's the first level spell. It's just 46 radiant damage.
Guiding Bolt's pretty
And
cool.
on their next turn,
We're gonna miss
you have
my
advantage.
character. Oh,
Just-
what?
Oh, everybody's characters.
No.
Fucking hell.
We're not gonna miss the ranger.
20, 24.
This is literally
30,
like one
30 points
fucking
damage.
hit.
30 points.
Dead.
You missed that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ah,
34.
34.
Oh, I'm level 3!
I
What
could
is
do
this?
that at level 1.
I'm lined up.
Was it? Is it a 46 off the bat, level 1 spell?
46
Uh,
radiant damage.
32.
No,
That's
that one.
And then,
Wait, can I get fucking
The
guided
metal
what?
one. The metal one.
nah, it's a.
No, it's a cleric spell.
God damn.
Clerics are great.
Oh, I guess
Um,
if I crit with Witch Bolt, I can do 40, 12.
Jeez,
Cool.
nice.
So who watches this?
Sounds good.
If I crit with my sword, I can do 2d8.
This dwarf cleric runs out to the side, getting a flank out on the carts,
Just bare. Is he not dead? Fuck.
and letting out this streak of white light and thuds into him as they're wrestling, hitting him square in the back. And his body almost glows from the impact. And you can see he recoils in pain, but he is still standing at the moment.
Fucking hell, eh?
Um,
Maybe he's a barbarian.
is that you?
Well, yeah. That's
Yep.
Was it a barbarian or half-orc trade?
The bowman is
That was half orc.
Yeah.
going to shoot
Goliath
at you,
also has-
Tordek.
Same-ish thing.
Which
Maybe
I
he's
don't
one.
think is
Maybe he's a
going to hit.
half-orc or
11 to
I
hit.
feel like we'd know if he was a Goliath at the very
that's
least.
I've got your stuff here. Yep. Okay.
Scott's like, oh, I'm doing 8d6. Oh, I've got 16 on gloss.
Seeing this bolt of light come out, the archer frantically tries to let a shot loose to interrupt, but it sails wide. Agatha and Granrick, you are going now.
Why is he not going? I'm going to cast Eldritch Bolt again.
Look, as long as he's not sitting there fucking daydreaming.
Does a 9 hit?
Who are you shooting at? Sorry.
Archie boy.
A 9 does not.
I feel like that
Oh,
question
so
shouldn't
the
matter.
next person to attack him
If
has
they got negative dex.
advantage, essentially.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah.
me, it's anyone.
What?
The next person to attack him has advantage.
Oh, doesn't matter. My turn's done.
Okay.
Fuck, I shouldn't have shot him. Solid sentence.
the archer.
Granrick.
Come on,
Yeah.
Green Rock. Fuck that.
I'm gonna run up as far as I can without using dash.
Yeah, I think.
Am I within 30
Which
feet
one?
of him?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think you had another square, didn't you? Was that 25 or 30?
I'm not sure.
I think it was there. Which would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We'll say it will be because this map's a little bit janky.
What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna shoot him with a crossbow first.
First.
I have bonus actions.
Just say it hits.
It does.
It does, yeah. I can already tell you it hits.
Yeah, no, I'm finding how much the damage is.
1d6 plus. Oh, it's not crossbow 8.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, short bows are 6. Which is why I use the crossbow more than my
I can guarantee you. I'm looking at the fucking app.
It's because they got a shorter range.
the offside is shorter range
That's
and
not bad.
you can't do 2 shots.
7 damage.
Yep, on the bow guy. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Make a heavy one, D10.
Use the D12.
gonna use
D12.
Blood Curse of Mutual Suffering on him.
Okay, so what's this do? So I'm familiar with blood hunters, but not to the point that I know what all of their stuff does.
As a bonus action, link with a creature within 30 feet for up to 1 minute. The next time the linked creature deals damage to you with a weapon attack, it takes necrotic damage equal to half the damage dealt, ending the curse.
Okay.
So if it shoots you.
Oh, but it only works for 1 attack.
Yeah,
If it
but
shoots
I can-
anyone, isn't it?
No,
No,
links.
me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's gonna like, ha! You can't hit me, little bitch.
Yeah, taunt him.
Go on, kill yourself.
Have a shot.
Okay.
Now, for your bonus action, shout at him.
But that's a bonus action that I can pretty much use that whenever I want.
That's what a bonus action
I
is.
feel like there's a limit to how much
Nope.
you can use them.
It's literally nothing. That's what it says.
It's up to Johnny,
The answer's no.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was about to explain something and I realised you were talking.
But he's fine.
The swordsman on the card at the moment, still wrestling with the driver, is going to pull him across, shielding himself a little bit from Harrison, and essentially he's going to disengage as he uses him as a shield to drop down, and then he's going to go
Wouldn't I get... What did you just...
20. He disengaged as an action.
He's about to fucking die.
And he's sort of running back, and you can see him sort of quietly, sort of hurriedly shout something as he sort of stumbles off. He's losing quite a bit of blood. His right arm covered at the moment with red.
Boys, I'll finish him.
But you can see he starts running off. Harrison, you are up.
Alright, I'd like to run after him,
Yep.
which gets me
Yeah,
to...
you get to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to hit him with the back side of my war pick to knock him out, but
Okay.
not kill him.
Yeah, sure. Make an attack roll.
And that's advantage because of the guiding bolt.
Yep.
He's
The
on the ground.
guiding bolt only lasts till
I know,
next
bitch.
round, or is it until he
Until
gets
the end
here?
of my turn, next turn.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So that's 16 plus 5. So
Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
Just walk up and step through the edge.
Can't stop
Roll
it.
damage for the sake of it.
Crush his spell.
8 damage.
Okay.
Love it.
So you bring your axe around, turning it to the side to get the blunt edge to hit, and just clacking him right on the side, and he falls unconscious.
And then while I'm there, I will take the pick and try to get the point into the back of his kneecap.
Okay.
Is that a cold shot?
I'm assuming it's.
That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
The back of his kneecap's well fucked.
So that's only 6 damage though.
Okay.
It's a good thing he's got.
Now he can't fucking walk.
He's got back knee armor.
Back knee.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Back knee armor.
The driver of the
So-
caravan, with him sort of being pushed off, is going to sort of settle himself back down. It looks like he's just holding some wounds, not able to do much else. Tordek.
Clank. Gonna go again.
He's gonna play cleric like I played paladin.
I didn't actually pick any fucking healing spells,
Yeah,
guys.
fifth session in. I can heal people?
It's touch though, so it's...
What's gay on? Oh, lay on hands. My character's not a homosexual.
That's what fucking week like 20, and I'm like, hey, I can purify food. And that one was real.
Second last episode. Why is Helm written on the top of my character sheet?
Who's home?
I'm just gonna shoot another guy.
You know, got a magical helmet.
The archer?
At
That
the
could have been a
sword.
thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, the swordsman. Yeah, you've seen.
I think you can kill his unconscious body if you want.
Yeah,
but
you've seen Harrison knock him
Yeah.
Cleric
unconscious.
murdering unconscious people.
Lawful good cleric murders an unconscious person.
I wasn't really paying attention. 16.
Yep.
I need D12. Just throw them.
You should just keep those.
Yeah, I'll
Right.
probably get
Yeah, I've got enough here, I think. Yeah, I've got enough.
15.
Gotta stay.
I got a feeling
Cool.
that tonight I'm gonna die.
this bolt white light again streaks across the field.
Yeah.
This time starting into the archer, who sort of tries to take cover but doesn't quite get there.
Nick with advantage.
Hey,
Someone has advantage.
my turn.
Tim has advantage if he goes.
Have a go.
On his turn, with you right next to him, run up and knocking his companion unconscious.
Knock you unconscious.
Yeah. He is going to sort of turn to you and go, whoa, we didn't mean anything by it. Whoa. Wait. And you can see he's got this bolt sticking into his arm that he's sort of
And a very sore neck.
glancing, and this like blood trickling down his leg, and as he looks down to his companion and then looks back at you and realizes that this has gone terribly, sort of starts to bargain, and he's saying, "Whoa, all right, there's no need for that. Look,
Is it my turn?
no, it's his turn."
It's your turn next though.
He's like, look, everyone's doing it tough out here. We're just looking for a way to get by. That's all. There's no need for this."
Advantage.
It's now Granrek, Agatha.
It's his
23.
hearing. He's
Yeah.
got slight hearing. He didn't hear anything.
9 points of damage.
Too much
Eldritch
evac.
Blast. Just
Please don't kill him.
Why?
Don't need to die.
Give me a
So
good
as
reason.
as he's standing there, you all just see this beam of purple energy just across the top of you and just thuds into him as he falls back. He's still alive. I thought he was dead. He's fine. Falling back. He's like, "Whoa! I surrendered. What?"
I wish I had 2 attacks.
Granrek.
Is he actually surrendering?
Yeah, you can see after being hit by that, he's sort of got his bow and he's holding it up. He can't raise his other arm because of the bolt sticking out of it. But he's got his bow and he's like, whoa.
Get.
I was like, I'm gonna walk up to him, unsheathing my sword.
Just cut the string of the bow.
What sort of weapon do you have, by the way?
Can I get like
I have a long sword.
attack of opportunity as he went past me? Yeah, bruh.
Technically you could.
Drop all your stuff and you can leave. Everything that you have on you right now.
Including your clothes.
Yep.
I can't hear shit from here.
Well, I mean, we're doing this to get by. What about him? And he points to his mate, who's currently unconscious on the ground.
Oh, I mean... Please be making that sound in the background. I mean... We're gonna take his stuff too. You can't just attack someone and then not deal with the consequences.
Well, okay, how about this? We
Let me stop you there.
So technically we're out of initiative.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
I'm gonna
it-
hit him in the back of the head with my thing while he's trying to talk to.
Scott.
Okay, make an attack roll.
What are you doing?
Knocking him out as well.
Why? Is it better than being dead?
That's a 10.
10 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's him.
You sort of.
Technically you'd have.
Second attack. That's a hit.
She missed with the first one. Oh,
Get out of it. This is way more embarrassing.
So he.
Scott's.
Sure, I'll say because he like fell back from the blast, I'll say he's prone and you have advantage. So sure, we'll say the second hit does hit.
Well, I have 2 attacks anyway because.
So just
Fighting
roll your
Scott's
damage.
like, I don't want to be friends. Heal people.
Yeah, that's
9.
fine. Yeah. So you bring this axe around as he's got his bow up, surrendering. He's like, "Whoa, hang on!"
Wait, I
wait."
thought you were meant to be a nice guy as well.
I'm not killing him, I'm knocking him out.
And you've sort of just
Your axe
raised
in
up
the
your
walls on the
axe
ground.
quietly in his peripheral and just thung, and he just collapses further to the ground.
It's like Spider-Man's like, I don't kill people, kick someone off the...
Alright, now.
And you had a go at me for trying to break into somewhere.
And you're just knocking on.
Well, the plan is to tie him up and hand him into the authorities when we get to Calavan.
No?
No.
Or harvest him for organs.
What can I steal
What the
off of
fuck
his
is wrong
body?
with you?
So you can see there.
Nothing.
They actually have some scraps of armor. They have, between the two of them, probably a full set of leather armor. It looks like they've sort of shared it between themselves. He does have a short sword. The other one has a longbow. And they, I mean, aside from that, they don't have much. It looks like they have some meat that they've probably poached from somewhere. But, you know, they don't have any gold to their name. Well, they're not carrying it, at least.
God, I wish you were an evil clone.
I'm gonna take the short sword. Short sword. And
Sure.
bow.
Okay.
Sure, no worries about short sword.
Cool.
I want to tie them up.
So,
Ooh, getting kinky.
Tie their hands and legs together.
Yay.
sure. I was going to ask if you have rope, but there's probably more than enough rope on the caravans that you could probably grab a bit.
Scott, you gonna hear the caravan leader?
While we're hitting this nice and early, I'll just remind people as well, like we talked about last time.
Wow.
Like
Stop talking about.
Like we talked about it last time, I'm going to make sure that we're not carrying too many things on our person.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, just wanted to make that sure. I don't know why I went so fucking American.
Well, it was better than Irish last week.
Yeah. But yeah, just putting that out there nice and early.
This ain't fucking Skyrim.
Cool, you want to tie them
feeling
up?
it.
Make a, just, give me a survival, just
I'm gonna
out of
make
interest.
400 iron daggers.
That's a 21.
Okay, good to know.
I've got fucking heaps.
So, Harrison sort of rolls them over, hog tying them a little bit and tying their hands behind their back. He's taken their weapons away from them.
What are bolts like? Can you rip them out of people and reuse them?
You can if you don't care about the person you're ripping it out of.
Well, they're unconscious, so.
I take back my bolts.
Okay, so you reach down and you grab this bolt which is stuck deep into his shoulder, about half of the bolt exposed. And as you rip it out, he suddenly jerks back to consciousness. Ah! 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 And then he falls unconscious again.
Now put it back in.
You just killed him.
I don't feel bad.
Bloody green rock.
So what do you want to do with them? What do you want to do?
I want
With the
to.
bolts and with the people.
Is it possible to sort of reorganize the way that the caravans are?
Yeah, these carts are
What's
super loaded. There's a few boxes like on each of them. But yeah, you could move a couple of things about.
I want to try and
Yeah,
sort of
sell it.
empty out the middle cart as much as I can,
Okay.
and then chuck them two on the middle cart.
Sure, so you spend a little bit of time
arrows.
taking the crates off,
He has
stacking
arrows.
them neatly onto the other ones, making sure they don't fall, maybe
That's a
tying.
really good
Yeah. But yeah, you clear enough space on the middle cart that yeah, you can store them on there.
What did I miss?
Look, you mean a fucking retard. He's got the longbow. He's like, oh, it's worth 50 gold. I'm like, oh, you should use it. He's like, oh, I don't have any arrows. I'm like, what the fuck was he shooting?
Good grief.
Well, I take the arrows. How many is that?
He's probably got around 40 or so.
Oh.
Fuck yeah.
He's got, yeah, the better part
What
of
do I
it.
deal with this?
So as this is happening and you're loading them up,
Are we going to Central Square?
So you said that there's plenty of rope on the caravan, so I can tie their tied up part to the caravan so that they don't have to
yeah.
untie themselves and then
Sure.
so that they can't run away all tied up.
I just cut their hands off and then they can't.
Oh look, I'm considering cutting these two fingers off the archer. Good luck shooting again.
Yeah, that'd be... Can we try that? You still got your bows.
Yeah.
What about your thumb? Could you utilise your thumb?
Does anybody need a crossbow?
That's doable.
Yeah, I'll get my 100-pound bow and see if you can draw it with your thumb and fucking finger.
That's how I masturbate.
So,
Sponsor us, Pornhub.
God damn it. Not this time, man. Okay, sorry. So, what are you doing?
I'll heal the
I'm just...
I go back and get on the cart where I was.
Okay.
4.
Should we have somebody up with the caravan leader?
Yeah, I'm up there.
That's what he's doing.
Like,
He was.
No, as in like when the car's going. If
I
we-
was
He was.
before,
Oh, he was.
but I'm getting in the middle cart with the people that we tied up.
Should we have
That I
like
tied up.
at least 2 in the middle and then 1 on the
Don't
back?
tell them about the
That's
stuff
what I
told.
reckon.
For 4 hit points.
What? No, obviously I'm not going to leave them with their bloody weapons
4
if
hit
I'm
points.
playing them up.
No, but don't tell them that I don't tell the authorities that
So you
I
can
thought
see
it.
like the bleeding stops, but the wounds are still quite open.
Hey, fine.
Is he new to this?
But you can see he sort of gives you a nod and he's like, thank you,
Not doing
and
it.
sort of starts sort of shoving some clean cloth in them to just stop anything getting
Do I
in.
have any fucking healing spells? I
Uh,
don't think
no.
so.
No, you do not.
I could minor illusion that they're better.
You don't. What are you?
It's a samurai.
Fighter. No, so you don't. Okay.
What if I poison spray and cauterize the wounds?
Poison.
Like melt his skin.
I went from
I could
80 range
cauterize
to
it if I try hard
150.
enough.
So,
80 range to 150.
Yeah, I could cauterize wounds if I try hard enough.
the
Speaking tool sets.
caravan
really hot metal.
driver,
Yes.
sort of after sort of finishing up his wounds, says, "Seems it was worth bringing you with me then.
You know it.
I appreciate it. What do you want to do with them?"
Well, is Calavan a town of law? Will there be officers to hand them into when we get there, or?
It's law of sorts. There's a governing body and some people that maintain order, but
Is it nicer to leave them here alone without anything?
for all I know, they could be working for the government there. This accent is changing.
We could ditch him.
They could have sent him out from Calavan to raid the carriages along the road to make more money for the town.
Where's Ogre when you can eat the bodies? Or we could just do it anyway.
He sort of walks back, climbing down off the cart and heading back along to the centre cart to look at him. I'm assuming you'd probably still be up there with them.
Have you got any thoughts on what to do with them?
Pull their masks off. Let me see what they look like.
Rip it off.
He sort of peers in over the side of the cart.
I could always write a note and then sort of just dump them in the middle of the city, still tied up.
Or in the river?
I'm gonna say no to that one.
He sort of looks in, and you can see for a moment. Harrison, make an insight for me.
Fuck yeah. Picking all of the skills that I have proficiency with. That's a 20.
Yep.
I like the river idea, personally.
Why don't we just make them our bitches and then they can fight for us?
So you could see for a moment there's a flicker of sort of a raised eyebrow on the driver before he says, I don't know, leave him here, tie him up for the beasts, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with him.
Look, I'd rather have them arrested, to be honest, but
Break their fingers.
You gonna ask why he raised his eyebrow?
Every time you metagame, I'm going to hit you with something. I need a whip. Somebody get a whip, like just a 2 meter whip that I can just sit here and go.
Call
That's
Devo.
Terrible idea.
Is it though?
I don't want to be next to that.
That'd be fun.
hit me. Fucking hit me.
alright, fine. And I just walk over to them and just break their heads and throw them off the cart.
Okay.
Just walk
So
up
with
to you
like-
and high five you.
With
Grace is like, oh no.
So with your axe, you go up, their hands laying up on the side of the cart, and you just crush it with the backside of your axe. And you just
You can
hear
keep them alive, right?
about a
Spare the
dozen
die.
small cracks, just all simultaneously cracking across their hands. Are you doing both hands on both of them, or just one on each?
Let's do one on each.
The ranger was pulling them back with his right, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so right hand on the ranger, and was the fighter,
He was right.
right, yes, right on both them.
Okay. Alright, so you do that, and then you're leaving him here, you're pushing him out?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
I'll cut the rope and kick them off the car. Oh, not cut, because
I've got
it's
spare
not
the
my
dough.
rope. Untie the rope and kick them off
So
the
pretty
car.
much.
again.
Okay. So you push them out, their unconscious
That's
bodies
on the
falling out
FD.
onto the road, one landing
Spare.
face down just in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have played your paladin.
But the caravan driver sort of says, "Right, well,
Can you make sure that they're alive for me?
if
Okay,
you're
I'll move him off the road.
okay,
Into the trees and
Yeah, it doesn't-
Doesn't
Do you
very
have
much.
spare the dying as well? I'm not using it.
I'll use it on both of them.
do you have spare the dying?"
Just so I can harvest their body parts when they get knocked up.
So you drag them off, sort of lean them into the ditch so they're sort of upright,
to stabilize it.
and cast spare the dying on them. Sure.
It's a medicine check.
They're still unconscious, but they're not dead.
Really useful last
Mhm.
campaign.
Wow, fuck.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw some water on their face first, see if I can wake them up.
That spell.
What did you say?
I want to wake them up.
What did I not?
Why? Just they'll wake up anyway.
Well, what if they get eaten by something while they're unconscious?
Not our fucking problem.
You're not gonna wake up.
Wake up!
So you throw a bit of water out of your water skin onto their face. One of them wakes up and just immediately starts to scream.
Shh, 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 shh. Put
He's-
my hand over his mouth.
You've just broken his fucking hand.
I just went to DM speak and went. He looks at his hand, which is just a crumpled mess, just the skin.
Isn't it
flat.
tied together? Obviously?
No, untied.
Oh, you're
With-
not tied? Oh, fuck, their
with
hands up.
blood splurting out of his hand everywhere. He's like,
So-
he's just gone completely pale.
We've decided to be a little bit generous to you today.
And only break one arm. One
He's
of
more fucked up than I am.
It's lawful.
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
They're helpless.
Well, the plan was to turn them into police, and you didn't want to, so this was an alternative.
Or you could have tied them up and
That's
left
me not wanting to do that. That's not you.
them. I feel like this is a
I was going to
lawful
hand you
character.
into the police, but
At this point, his eyes roll back into his head and he falls unconscious.
slap,
again.
slap, slap. See if I can wake
Why the fuck do you keep waking him up?
He sort of blinks for a second.
You probably want to run. I leave as fast as soon as you can. Just walk away.
You just hear.
Was this all the police? And I figured you didn't want to be arrested.
The popo.
Sure. So as you mount back up onto the carts, you just hear him wailing from behind you. Hear him start to sort of shake his companion.
With the biggest grin on my face, I just look at you and go, "That was fucked up."
It's fucking employed back
That
there.
was the fitting punishment for the crime, don't you think?
Yes.
Sure.
Can't
So-
believe you wouldn't let me break into a fucking house, but you're down to do that.
The house didn't do anything to deserve it.
You just tortured them.
Sure.
I didn't
So-
break the law. Depending on what country we're in.
You
What
mount
state
back
we're
up
in.
into the carts, and if you're ready to
Probably
move
fine.
on, we will do so.
Are we only going to have one person on the back car?
Killing them would have been easier.
They didn't deserve to die. They still got a chance this way.
Your mate.
Ideally, this will be enough for them to rethink their life, don't you think?
Oh yeah, me and fucking Jordan's character's a great friend. That was such a good audio. He's a fucking sociopath. You're fucking out, dickhead.
Also, the few pages that did print out printed from the back first, so none of this is fucking useful to me.
Just bad.
Fantastic. I'll pull up my notes on here
23
real quick.
minutes.
Till the distraction of KD.
Nice one.
I wanted to arrest them.
They said to rescue us. Oh, that's a bit rough.
Why are you listening to me when it comes to suggestions, by the way?
You didn't want to carry them with us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say something. What cards are you guys on?
Well,
First one.
I'm on the back
that one again.
Sorry, I'm just pulling these up, seeing my printer doesn't want to work.
You said you had no ink.
That's
That's why he's
Wait.
putting them on his screen.
I've got it on my fucking iPad, I don't know why. I'm an idiot!
So,
I'm an idiot! You're an idiot!
I also want to take a good look at their face and make sure that I can remember them.
Yeah, they're going to have a vendetta. Get to level 20, come back and kick the shit out of you.
Look, if we come into them again, I'm gonna chop the ranger's fingers off, and then if he comes back a third time, I'll be fucking impressed.
You're hired!
I heard fucking, and I'm like, where's this going?
Yeah. I thought you were going to keep his fingers and fucking with his fingers.
There's our first side story.
Okay, so you all mount back up into the carts and continue heading along the road, crossing the bridge, and making your way
Downtown, moving fast.
face the pass, and your caravan bound. So, after about a day's travel, and finally getting away from the smell of salty ocean air, after being on the ship for so long, it's a nice relief, the not hearing waves and water slapping against the hull of the ship, not having salty sea breeze blowing in your face every day. And
See that in the back.
as this thought comes across your mind, you crest up over the top of a rolling hill to see the coastline.
Stand back.
And along this coastline you see a large city in the distance. Large castle, or not castle walls, but large city walls. Large city walls encapsulating a city built on the coastline.
Yay.
From where you are looking out across it, you can actually see towards the center of the city there's a large, almost a hill, a natural hill in the center of the city. And on top of that there appears to be a fort of some description. But you can see, sort of peering over the walls is the little bit that you can see to the left there's like small dark buildings and what appears to be tents and similar things.
Like an army.
Further to the right you see, the further right you go, or north, you can see the city sort of develops into larger buildings ending just before the northern wall with large, what appears to be churches and multi-story buildings.
Sorry, putting your slave scar.
But you can see there's probably another hour or two's travel before you actually arrive at the city.
And what time of day would you say?
It's getting on now. It's probably getting towards like 4 or 5 in the evening.
So we'll arrive a bit late.
Yeah, it'll probably be. It looks like from the sun behind you, it looks like as you descend down this hill, you're probably going to lose the light behind it.
Where was like the army area?
On the fort on the hill.
Tents and stuff.
Oh, the tents and stuff that you can see.
Yeah.
They're to the south, like yeah.
Is that army or is that just refugees?
Well, you can't tell from here, but it looks like there's just sort of dingier buildings and
I'll pull out my
makeshift buildings
telescope.
to the south. Do you know how much they are?
1 grand.
What?
1,000 gold base.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that.
For a spyglass.
That seems.
I guess back then they'd be pretty hard to make.
Yeah, incredibly well
That
crafted.
seems excessive.
A magnifying glass is 100 gold.
So you get 2 magnifying glasses.
No, you get 4, and then you can see the same.
You can
But
just
it's
fucking
save
build it
600
yourself.
gold.
Well, you'll need some sort of metal casing, probably, which.
Just hold them all up.
You can
put
do
them, put
that.
your
Yeah,
fingers.
exactly. It wouldn't be that expensive.
Just do like.
Okay, moving on.
So we're going to make a side business where we buy magnifying glasses and sell telescopes, yeah?
Yeah.
600 gold profit.
You can
Yeah.
you can do that. So I just on a quick
That's how
side
we
note,
make money.
I actually read through because I just read through the player's manual, the player's handbook even, just to sort of go over a few things and refresh myself. And I read through about how you can just spend years in game if you want, just being a craftsman. Because why wouldn't you?
Just do
Unless
trading.
that's your backstory and you're just a fucking amazing blacksmith.
Yeah, I don't know.
At me, except not amazing.
Well, it's a way to make money, but who's like in the middle of a D&D game like, okay, I want to spend 294 days making a suit of scale mail, and the DM's just like,
Probably would have been really
The-
fucking useful.
The rest of the party fucking leaves, finishes 5 adventures, and then
So
comes
I
back.
could, so I could have got plate armor.
Making like a weapon though is only like a day or 2, so
it's I think 5 GP a day.
yeah.
So yeah, depending on what it is. So I think a suit of plate mail is like a bit over a year to make by yourself.
Oh, we should have just used a year. We aged 3 by a fucking clock.
Make a plate armor
Wasn't
out
it
of
like
the clock.
What?
Wasn't it like 5 or 10?
Oh yeah, it was probably 10.
It's 10.
So-
yeah, because Garth got old man.
As you descend down the hillside towards the low-lying coast, the light slowly disappears, and you can see the castle. I'm going to keep saying castle. The town walls, city walls, almost as if you can see or you can assume where the guard is that's lighting them. Slowly, torches light up along the wall.
I reckon I keep him in Eldritch Blast.
Towards where you're heading, a
Can you
large
hit from this distance?
a large gatehouse building on the eastern side, which is where you're approaching from. You can see there's a few torches or braziers or something a little bit brighter burning, and in the background, as you approach, you can see the large stonework of this gatehouse. But you make your way up, and slowly the caravan pulls up to a halt, and you can see there's 2 guards there who, these guards, unlike where you may have travelled from previously, these guards don't appear to have any tabard or any sort of insignia.
Are they like the English guard with the big puffy?
They don't seem to have any uniform. One of them is wearing just like leather armour with a crossbow strung over his back and a short sword at his side. The other's wearing sort of like a half chainmail, half sort of plate leggings kind of thing. And you can see he's just got like a mace slung at his side. But unlike a lot of places you've been, like a lot of town guards, and especially in a large city like this, will generally have a uniform guards garrison. Words.
So they're just kind of like hired mercenaries.
You sort of get that feel from it, yeah. But as
Pay twice much to fuck off.
as the cart rolls up to a halt, one of the guards sort of walks up. All right, what do we got there? And you can see the caravan driver pulls out this ledger and he sort of opens it up. And he just sort of, it's almost as if it's a habit, like a practiced conversation, where the driver says, goods from Yalis just came in yesterday. It's just the standard trip. You can see the guard takes it, flicks through it a little bit. You can see he's clearly not reading it, but he sort of flicks through it almost to look like, you know, he's doing the right thing. Yeah, all right. Go on then. Who are these? And he sort of peers back at the other carts with you guys sort of along them. He sort of looks along, raising his torch a little bit to get a bit of light on each of your faces, but he looks across. Doesn't seem to cause too many issues.
Excuse me, Mr. Guard. I've got just a quick little hypothetical question for you.
Yeah.
Just say that we were ambushed on this path and we knocked out and took the ambushers with us. Would there have been a prison for us to put them in when we got here?
Have you never been to Calavan?
No, I'm new to this island in total.
Well, you find yourself in the jewel of the Toll Colour, and we take our laws very seriously here, don't we, Greg? You can see the guy in chainmail. Yeah. So, you find any criminal scum, you bring them to us. We'll sort them out. Don't you worry.
Alright.
Missed opportunity.
I'll keep that in mind.
Which, I'm sure I don't need to say it if it's your first time here. Make sure you keep out of trouble.
Will do.
Sort of,
Stop right there.
with that, he sort of like raises his torch and leans in a little closer and just has like another peer at each of your faces. Alright, go on.
The Family Guy one. It's like,
Sort of-
okay, not okay.
As he's walking past, gives the tone back to the ledger back to the driver. So the carts make their way in through the gate, and you can see up above there's a palisade which is raised well above clearance. And you make your way in, and the caravan sort of stops just inside the gates, and the driver turns to you and says, all right, well, thank you for your help. I'm not sure I would have made it on my own. It was very fortunate timing, I guess. But
That's for your payment.
Payment was the trouble.
I can handle it from here, so if you've got business, by all means. And he sort of just sits there, and just sort of peers back at you, just like hands still on the reins, just peers back.
And just jump off the cart. Not that we're using this model,
Yeah.
but you know.
You're right.
What?
He goes, you went backfoot. I'm like, you're right.
Nah, do it.
Do it. Oh, sounds like something your character do.
I'll give you a gold if you do a backflip off the cart.
Ooh, here you go. Gold piece.
Alright, a backflip off the car.
Yes. That is my roll one, break your neck and die.
Make me an acrobatics.
Okay.
Yo.
16.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. This air ganassi almost seems to be at one with the air around him.
That makes sense. Yeah. Probably should have challenged the witch instead.
This tiefling, you look over and she's like crambling onto the ground using the steps of the cart.
As if it didn't help me down. An old lady.
Shut up.
I'll fucking burn you.
So as you all step off, Grunrick backflipping off and landing on the ground.
Caliban.
Both swords, crossbow and longbow, strung over each other.
That's a fucking realistic drawing.
So, what is that? So,
It's an attempt.
About 40 seconds.
I think I can actually pull. Actually, do you want to see that? Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Sure.
Fair enough.
So inside, you find yourself at. Well, I was gonna have printouts for this, but the printer is a jerk.
Yeah.
It's good. It's almost like this whole campaign is just.
Nudging your camera.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's gone up drastically from last
Yeah,
week.
everything actually looks a little more professional.
And at least it's not on a couch anymore.
Yep.
First episode was top.
Look at how far we've come.
Is that a song? Well, match 20.
Let's see how far we've got Matchbox 20.
Yeah, it
Don't
was
take it.
actually.
Yeah, we've gone from
All over
the
that.
couch to a professional looking setup with everything, and all it cost was thousands of dollars.
Not mine.
So,
Actually, would be in the thousands by far.
yeah, it easily would be, yeah.
Hey, you get paid more than all of us.
So, moving right along, you find yourself in quite a nice area. It looks like the buildings around you, while they're closed at this hour of the evening, looks like this is probably some sort of commercial district. There's various buildings with signs hanging above the doorways. You can see there's various ones indicating fresh foods, ingredients, butchers, yeah, pretty much anything as you make your way down these streets.
So you like to break the law, don't you? That's what I got from the last fight.
No.
Can I hear this conversation? How quiet are you talking?
Oh, like whispering next to him.
I think they're talking about you, Tony.
The accent in a whisper. So.
Stage whispers.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Do you want to break in?
First of all, to what? Secondly, no.
I'd just like to point out
Anything?
that your whispers between each other are whispering from the microphone.
Sorry, I'll cover my mouth this way next time.
Whoops.
Directed at the microphone.
We are whispering right now.
I've beansed everything.
Can you hear me, Granrick?
What is happening? Everything's gone wrong.
Hopefully, don't joke.
I still haven't sorted out everything on my iPad, so it's really good.
Should have got a Samsung tablet.
As you make your way down these streets, you can see there's a couple of buildings that are quite a bit larger than all the others as you make your way down this street. And you can see they're decorated with various banners of different colours and various other large buildings. But where do you want to head to? Is there anything in particular you want to do?
Building is.
Slept.
You would want to sleep, yo.
Well, what time is it?
It's probably an hour past sunset.
We could find somewhere to sleep, but I was thinking we'd get a drink.
Fucking alcoholics.
We had a hard travel. We got in a fight.
Oh,
Somebody almost died.
It's such a hard travel.
wasn't me, I don't give a fuck.
It was you
I
from
didn't
age.
Well, unless I have to put up with you lot then.
So you can see immediately to your right, as you stand in this intersection, you can see there's a well-lit long building which seems to have a few people sort of hanging out the front, chit-chatting.
I can't see the sign from here. I'm too old.
To your left, it looks like...
Vision-based perception.
Hearing. Done.
To your left, it looks like everything up that way is closed before it gets onto residential buildings. In front of you, the lowest part of the hill going up to the fort is sort of ahead, and you can see the high walls of that sort of cresting up in front of you. But yeah, you can see there's sort of two roads that look like they sort of circle the hill.
Just gonna walk up to that lit building.
Whoa. What?
Sure. So you make your way up, and you can see a sign hanging from the balcony of this building, which seems to have almost what appears to be a wave of water with steam rising up off it, inscribed onto it. But you can see there's three people stood out the front, all of which are human, and seem to be just dressed in sort of common clothing, like nice clothing, but just casual stuff.
Nice.
Who are all just stood at the front, sort of chatting. What do you want to do?
Walk up to them. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but just wondering what's this building here? I'm new to the island, so.
One of the women, there's a woman, two women and a man. One of them turns around, sort of looks you up and down, goes, "That's the bathhouse."
Of course. Thank you for that.
Want to come here with me?
You can hear like a little bit of like whispered chat as you sort of give them a nod and sort of turn back to your companions.
What is it?
Bathhouse. I feel like I could go for the bath, but
My skin's already soft enough for that deep one.
I doubt it. Don't walk on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn your life.
As you make your way in, opening these
Oh, you're in a bathhouse.
these heavy wooden doors, there's this
Relaxing.
sudden rush of warm, humid air. And stepping inside, you can see this building, at least the foyer that you stood in, seems to be tiled with a nice bright white marble. It looks like it's a very well-to-do building.
Then we wouldn't have had a good bath in ages because of the boat, right?
No, you guys have been on a ship
Yeah.
for at least a month.
There's water everywhere. Of course you can wash yourself.
Yeah, you can have like a horse bath, sure.
Yeah.
But
What do you think I am?
A witch.
Oh.
but you make your way in, you can see...
I hope not. You wouldn't make much.
I have a pretty good charisma.
Yeah, apparently. You can see there's a human woman stood off to one side, sort of stacking towels at the moment. She turns around when she hears the door and says, "Oh, hi.
G'day. How much is the bath here?
Just for a bath for a standard amount of time."
Yeah, just haven't had a good bath in a while, so.
Right. Have you been here before then?
No, I'm new to the city.
Right. Well, we offer various services here. We can take care of your clothes and clean your equipment if you would like while you are having a bath. We can offer companions to join you. There is the group baths available.
I'll do it for free.
or the public baths, or you can have a bath, a private bath to yourself. The private bath will run you 30 gold for an hour. The public bath is 10 for the hour.
Nope.
I've got 1 silver piece.
That's a lot for a bath.
And she sort of stands there with that sort of like awkward, assuming you can't afford it kind of face.
Beach.
Do you guys follow Harrison in? Or?
No. Not one bath. I've got... Yeah, I could afford the common one. See my
So
shit.
could I.
Good on ya.
What's your...
I'll pay you in crossbow bolts.
Alright, well, I'm just
I've got this one that's covered in a
Alright,
bit
well,
of flesh.
Unfortunately, I don't currently have enough, but I'll be back some other time, I guess.
Yes, our doors are always
Like you butthole.
Head on out. That place is rather expensive.
open. You hear like some giggling from the people who are like crowded or like stood at the front door.
Give them hell. That's not lawful of them, is it?
Hey, do you
Somebody's laughing illegal. The fuck sort of city you live
do you want a bath?
I'll give you a golden
I
shower.
don't like where this is going.
I've got rain days around the corner. He's good bar.
Oh, was I called?
Fuck, that'd be a funny cameo.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Orb of Annihilated into this world.
Nah, pre-Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, he hadn't died then. To keep it Ogamaki and Bar's backstory. Gar's backstory.
No bath.
Yeah. Only for this occasion.
They've been in the bathhouse, clearly.
He smells like shit, of course he hasn't.
Not him.
No, even the other people.
They probably have a lot of money.
No.
No.
I don't need to do that.
Walk away after that.
Okay. So this building continues on for a little while, but you can see as the street sort of opens up past the hill, you can see slightly lit by the torches along the street. It opens out into the large buildings and churches and various things down towards this end. Further towards your left, towards the east, is the coastline. You can hear the odd ship bell ding from that direction. And yeah, sort of very faintly you can hear the waves rolling against the shore.
Deadly waves. Let's go find someone to stay.
As you make your way along, a few guards you see patrolling along the road, sort of stopping and say, "Ooh. Looking for anything?"
In or anywhere to stay for the night.
Yeah, you look like you'd fit right in over at the Kraken, not the Kraken's Eye. What was it? Was it the Kraken's Eye?
Wasn't that the place in Port Nesmo?
Yeah.
Is it a franchise?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, that first episode was a mess, so none of that is canon.
Fuck, we're not on the island.
Where the fuck are we? Is this Lost?
Yeah, no, I obviously got the ins around the wrong way, so it feels good. But yeah, he says, looks like you'd fit right in over at the Kraken's Eye. Best make your way over there, I think.
So it is a franchise.
Yeah, sure.
Who owns it?
Hi, welcome to the Kraken's Eye. Can I help you out special drink?
Do you have membership for any time fitness on the Kraken's Eye? Yeah, where is it?
Does he point or does he?
He sort of nods over towards like the west, where like the docks are.
I'm just gonna glare at him.
Are you implying something?
Yeah, just gonna glare at him. And walk that way.
fancy place for us.
Yeah, seeing 4 armed unknowns wandering around the city at night. does raise a few questions, yeah.
We're technically unarmed at the moment. The
Could
weapons
you
are
escort
stolen.
this old lady to the inn?
Make a persuasion.
Wait, what is my persuasion plus?
18.
Jeez, we're not technically armed.
We have arms.
We're not technically armed. You have 2 swords and 2 ranged weapons.
Yeah, but they're not in his hands, are they?
Roll that 20.
Really?
We're getting fucking
I hate this character so much.
Well, it's 23 mark, so he can roll against it if he wants.
God escort.
He goes,
Which kind of escort did you mean to?
Both.
I'm the
yeah, right, well, it just so happens that my shift is about to come to an end anyway, so sure, I'll show you over.
yes, score on the first night in here.
Right this way. And he sort of like gives a nod, but he doesn't move. He's expecting you to go, and then he's gonna follow.
That's cool.
I feel like other people see something different when they look at her. Like, she's got some sort of illusion that we see
Shallow
her or
hell.
something.
This dark red tiefling grandmother is just like,
Why can't we see whatever's happening?
You haven't spent a night with me yet.
Don't plan on it.
Won't be your choice.
Jesus Christ.
so,
Didn't pick old person for no reason.
Stop! Jesus.
So, as you make your way along, this road, it continues around, slowly circling to the left, and you can see this inner road circles around the hill forward in the centre. But as you make your way around, you notice the buildings that are at the base of the hill look to be estates or manors for probably more wealthy people living towards the centre of the city. And as these guards sort of lead you around and out towards the docks, you can see the buildings slowly get smaller, like not to the point that they're slums or anything, but they definitely go down to smaller buildings made out of cheaper stone and that sort of thing. Until eventually you sort of make your way through these houses and the buildings start to change into it looks like craftsmen, and while none of them are open, you can see one of them has a large forge outside. It looks like there's probably a blacksmith and various armor smiths and that in this area. Before
I'm here to meet a blacksmith, so
they continue along, and slowly these buildings give way to the coastline, which you can see in front of you now, and various piers jut out in front of you. This section of docks is probably a good couple of 100 meters along this coastline, and you can see while there's no ships in port at the moment, there is one ship that you can see. Harrison, you'd be the first to pick it, sort of just silhouetted in the darkness, but it looks like there's a capsized ship at one of the docks, sort of probably the water pretty much at deck height, and it's leaning off to one side, but that's all you can make out in the moonlight. But as you sort of reach these docks, you can hear the excitement and the music and the cheering, etc., coming from the large long building to your left. And the guards, all right, this is it. Enjoy yourselves. Don't cause any trouble.
Thank you.
Nah, it's not my type.
good.
I'm into egg and asses.
Oh God.
I'll kill your character.
Nah,
Why?
'cause you'll be dead already. From
So-
the tears that you'll see from my naked body.
As you make your way into
70-year-old tiefling.
why am I like this?
Stop thinking about it, you sick fuck.
Are you the reason for the burning sensation?
As you make your way in through the doors of this tavern, the music and the smells and the sight of this place hits you immediately. You can see off to your right there's a small band who are playing various instruments. A few patrons.
Is there a big ass Alsamir?
Sorry.
Is there a big ass Alsamir up there playing?
A few patrons sort of crowd around the stage and occasionally like throw coins. Almost some of them like generously throwing coins like into like a small box that's off to the side of the stage. Some of them throwing them at the musicians and instruments.
Here we go.
But as you look around, you can see there's all sorts throughout this tavern. Looks like various sailors who might be looking for work through to some guys that look pretty well armed. Looks like they might be mercenaries or something. Even right through to sort of separated almost in a split level of this inn is some pretty well-dressed people. That area seems to be a little bit quieter and a little bit cleaner. You can see there's a couple of barmaids who are up taking drinks and serving orders. You can see there's a few people sitting down having meals. It looks like this place is just the place to be.
Get to the right place.
Over,
Thanks to my help.
I don't know what I'm saying, at night. Sure. Sorry. But as you walk in, you can see a few glances sort of are cast your way, a couple of suspicious eyes, but nothing out of the ordinary as newcomers to a town. But
I'm pretty good looking.
they all go back to their drinks. Jedi business, go back to your drinks. What would you like to do?
Buy some death sticks.
You want to buy some death sticks?
I'll buy some death sticks.
You look to your right, and there's this gnome who hadn't caught your eye previously, who stood there and has these brown, twisted rods that look like they're made out of some sort of plant fibre. And he's sort of just leant against the door frame from where you've just walked in. He goes, "Yeah, I thought you were going to buy some death sticks. It'll be 10 copper."
Okay.
You hand over 10 copper?
Yeah.
Sure. He gives you a death stick.
I don't put that in the character sheet.
I can put it on your character sheet. It's fine. Are you doing it or should I?
Where's the cocaine?
You add it. I'm just removing the silver. It's 10. Go. I am now proud owner of Destiny.
You have no idea what it does.
That kills you.
It's just a death stick, yeah. You just smoke it, you fucking die.
What does it do?
I know what I already
What
had,
it do?
but didn't have. And I don't know when it refreshes, so.
I haven't added it yet.
Okay.
My internet's trash.
Can I have a look at it?
If I decide so.
You should get us the
Stash
best
it away.
table in the house.
Yeah, it is.
I just wanted to make a nature check and see what it might do.
You should get us the best table in the house.
I'm not abusing my persuasion.
Sure.
Do it.
No.
Just want to walk up to the bar.
Yep.
And be like, I'll have a cup of your strongest and a cup of whatever's ordered the least.
Yep. So you can see there's a couple of barmen who work this. It's quite a long bar. You can see one of them who's sort of like walking back down, sort of acknowledging, "Yep, coming right up." And he heads over and starts pouring. You can see they actually have a rack of mugs that appear to have been washed, unlike the last place you came from.
What is this?
I just realised these and adding this anyway. But yeah,
Do I have 200 death sticks?
No, I went to edit your character sheet instead of just adding an item.
If you can chuck some extra stats on if you want, I'm cool with that.
I'm really struggling.
I'm really struggling with
How do you do it on iPad? Why is it different on iPad than it is on?
Sounds better.
Yeah, must be the case because I seem to be able to
There
use
we go.
this
It's alright. It's much better.
More like Sam number
in the
one.
browser than the app.
Hmm?
I use it in the in Google Chrome.
Yeah, the app
Yeah,
doesn't
same.
do this.
The app's trash.
Yeah.
The app's just the books at the moment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they've updated.
As if, like, you know, there's not a billion fucking app developers out there that go, hey, make us a decent character shooter.
They probably are. They're just not D&D.
Oh, I just realised. Yeah, I'll have to do this later because I actually have to add death stick to the thing.
Okay.
But it's fine. You have a death stick.
I don't fucking know.
Ask.
It's not.
So you head
Ask them
over.
what
He
reason.
comes back and puts it down. Says, "That'll be 2 silver."
There you go. Just toss it to him.
Takes it and heads off immediately to take more orders. What's everyone else want to do?
I'll follow Harrison.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the input, Tim.
I'll just get a meal in a room.
Okay. So you head up and ask for a meal. He says, "Yeah, we can organise that. You want
Human
anything
flesh.
in particular, or
Good joke.
he? How does this work?
Ports you to the guards.
He gives you an eye, and he's like, "No human flesh here."
Ah, gotcha. I'll just have spaghetti.
Yeah, right. Still it is. He goes off.
You were going to say
And you can see he goes back and he leans through like an open window, which seems to go through into another area of the inn, and sort of shouts something out to somebody back there. He comes back. There's a room. We've only got 2. Yeah, we've got 2 rooms available. Sure.
No, I've got one.
For the meal and the room, you're just staying for the night, or do you want it for a while?
Nah, for the night.
Right. That'll set you 10 silver.
You can join me later if you want.
Are we sharing a room or so the married couple can?
Yeah, no, I'll be right. Thanks.
Is there any churches or anything nearby or temples?
Yeah, so as you were making your way here, you would have noticed there was a few large, they looked like churches from, what you've seen further to the south, sort of where you turned off.
I'm gonna head to one of those.
Okay. So you make your way back out and heading back sort of the way you came. You start heading along. You go past various traders and stuff again. Before you sort of make your way down, you find various, religious buildings. Some of them ranging from small chapels that look like they sort of just have a small shrine and a small area where you can pray, through to large ones where they hold sermons, and through to there's a large building in the centre of this area, which seems to be the mainstay for it, which you don't recognise the insignia that's on the tabards, but what are you looking for?
Someone to stay.
Friend.
And if anyone needs healing.
Who's your?
It's T. I had T in one part.
You got
and
a
had
fucking
Torm in
ball,
the other.
Oh, I'm so fucking
Right at the
Okay. So the best part is because my stuff didn't print out. I'm just
It's
gonna.
only one paycheck.
Yeah. I'll get a sick leather jacket.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Like dress up full bikey and then ride it around. Even get like the bandana like across your face with like skulls and shit on it. Come on.
Okay, so as you sort of make your way along, you see there's various people who are here. As you sort of go around, look at the various chapels and shrines and that, and you can see there's a few people who are praying, a few people who are tending to the shrines and that sort of thing. You do actually find a shrine to Torm, not a large one, but basically just a small sort of 4-post roof and a small shrine inside.
Cool. I'll pray there and stuff there.
Okay. Yep. So while you're doing that then, a little bit of time passes and he comes back out and slides it across the bar to you.
Fuck yeah, spaghetti.
And you can see there's various bar stools and places to sit along the bar if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, there's
Pay
tables.
for a room and the cheapest food.
Yep.
possible.
So you get the woman who's
Shit in your
serving, and she comes along and goes, yeah, let me check. And she sort of walks back up towards where Agatha is, looking at something behind the bar. Comes back, she goes, yeah, we've got one room left, and some cheap food. Yeah, sure. Yep.
Beauty.
Probably be 7 copper.
Oh,
Not 7
I got
copper.
fucking ripped.
It's on a discount.
Probably be 5 silver for the 2.
Done.
You got some
That
expensive
stew
food.
must have been fucking good.
All his food must be fucking shit.
Yeah. You're gonna get diseased by it.
We asked for cheap food.
Taking a risk.
I'm not gonna walk up as well. You got any red meat or anything like that?
Yeah,
Could I have some of that then?
Meat and spaghetti. It's got red meat in it.
yeah. You want it? How do you want it done?
Don't really care. I'm just sick of fish.
Okay,
Char-
sure.
char-
That'll be 5 silver. Hang on. Nope, that'll be a silver. I'm looking at the wrong things. I am looking at the wrong things. Sorry, no, that's not.
I was about to say, fuck me, the
Yeah,
stew
no, a
must be
silver's
mad.
a silver's
That
fine.
was plus the room as well, though.
Yeah, that was with your room.
So how much was the room?
A few silver.
How much was the stew?
There's different rooms here, Tim.
Oh, so I got a good one.
Yours might have been a couple more than. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You might see if you stop asking
I
questions
also
and
quite
just.
literally asked for cheap food.
You'd be insane about the room.
You
So-
had a choice. There was one food. You just got
Neither
ripped
of
off
you-
and they gave you the expensive
Yeah,
room
neither
and
of
you
you
didn't ask.
said, "Oh, I want X room." They just said, "I want a room." He was like, "Cool,
Better have a fucking good sweet.
cool."
I doubt it.
So a little bit of time passes, and she comes back with what appears to be a bowl of a soup of some description. Looks pretty thin, and you can see there's just a bone sort of off to one side of it. But yeah, she slides it across. Enjoy.
Do you have a spoon?
Yeah, there's a spoon.
No, you just got to drink it from the bowl.
Maybe.
A little bit more time passes. She comes across and has this steak. It's sort of garnished with a couple of things, but nothing really. This sort of like side of meat. It's rare, I guess.
Cool.
Oh, it's a rare meat.
Brings that across.
Dragon turtle meat.
What else do you want to do?
I think that'd be right.
No, rare.
Just looking
No,
at
but
it.
that's alright.
Do you want to buy a short sword?
The barmaid.
What?
She's like
What
like
kind of
mid pouring a drink for someone else, and she's
Why?
like,
Additional?
no,
Do you know anybody that does?
Could be wrong.
probably the traders in the town would be a good place to start.
What are you trying to sell?
Short sword.
Goes
I don't know
off.
why my mind went to Barstool.
You're just like at a bar and they're serving drinks. Can I sell you a sword?
Yeah, I'm 17.
Like,
She walks
go to
off
Blacksmith, can I
to.
get a drink, bro?
She walks off to serve this drink to somebody else, and up until now you hadn't taken much notice of the people sitting around you, but a sort of older man sort of leans over and goes, "Now how might someone like you come across an extra weapon?"
Luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been in this business long enough to know that if you're carrying weapons that you're trying to get rid of, you've probably taken them from someone.
No.
Make a deception.
No.
No. He's like, no.
No.
17.
Okay.
Is deception like proficiency? You fucking dodgy bastard.
Classic.
He's like, alright, fine.
Do you want to buy it?
Nah. And he
Okay.
sort of taps his hand on the hilt of a long sword at his side. He goes, I'm alright.
Nice to meet you. I'm Grunrick.
He sort of takes his drink. Yep.
He was looking for trouble.
And you can see he sort of heads back over and sits down at a table off in the middle of the tavern.
Anybody else?
Wouldn't
Yeah,
you
with
sit
a
down
couple
with
of
him?
You can see there's another couple of people. So
You know what? I might be 17 and I might like getting into like weird situations. That's not a good one to be.
I'm still around if a bar fight break out.
Good to know.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Where are you?
There.
just not there.
Yeah, he's fucking blind!
Okay. So, in the interest of expediting this, is there anything you would like to do as you have a few drinks?
Fucking gamble.
Go to the room.
Yep.
When's the
Okay.
fast time on a
Sleeping.
ship?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Not
yeah, you make your way
away
up.
Not
You can see
sleep.
there's some stairs that lead up to an upper floor. And as you make your way around, she gave you like a key for a room. And as you make your way around, you find your way into it. It's a small room with a single bed.
Did they lose?
And like,
No, it's just tips.
yeah, it's just a very basic room. There's a small like box that you could put your stuff in.
Is there enough for 2 people in this room?
There is if somebody sleeps on the floor. Yeah, there's like just a single bunk. It's sort of like you walk in that corner there's a bed running along that side of the room and a box in that corner, and then just open space in front of you.
60
There's
minute
no
game.
other.
Did you come up with me?
Probably.
I paid, so.
Whatever.
What's your the little spoon? Is it the big spoon?
I'm taking the bed. Just to not be in a room with you.
Cool. Yeah.
So those two head up.
Snuggle buddies.
It's better than having a whole person cast on me.
Amazing. Amazing.
53 year difference. That baby's gonna be weird.
Check
Half
this.
tiefling, half fucking egg Nazi.
Does that look like a 5 Ganassi at that point?
Maybe. Demonic fucking. Fucking up.
Anything you want to do?
Fuck.
No. Okay. Room.
Okay. You make your way up to your room. This one a little bit bigger. You can see it has a larger bed in it, and like a couple of like dresses and stuff, but still nothing.
I try the dresses.
Come on, Johnny. Johnny, let that happen.
He said dressers, not dresses.
Yeah, smash his leg.
What is wrong with you? Hello.
Well, we haven't got all night.
Oh, I'm still recovering from
Okay.
grief.
So you make your way up and head
Straight
to
to
bed.
Slept on.
Muscles and shit.
Tordek sleeping at the chapel. It's okay. Like the weather at the moment is quite nice, so it's not too cold and not uncomfortably hot.
You sleeping outside?
Occasionally, I think everything's still fine. I do need to reverse the cameras because you guys are like facing to the outside of the screen, and it really triggers me. But the other thing, the reason I put it this way is because when you look at each other, you actually look at each other on the screen. Whereas if I put them around the other way, so you're facing in, you look away from each other when you actually look at each other. Yeah, it's really weird.
If we look up this way,
You look up.
Is that the subscription button up there?
no, it's this way.
What?
Oh, look.
Isn't the button down?
That's a fucking light.
I don't think either of you really nailed that. But anyway,
I'm not looking at Johnny.
Oh, with,
He's that way.
with my camera. Yeah, that way.
so moving right along, occasionally being woken by people moving around, but it quietens down as the night goes on. You'll get a decent night's rest.
So Scotty gets mugged.
Pretty uncomfortable sleeping on the floor, but not too bad.
Take -1 temporary points.
You wake
That'd
up.
actually be fucking brutal at this level.
I'm dead now.
You wake up in the morning
-1
to a
hit
bit of
points is
sunlight
like-
coming through your window,
Cool.
4% of your health.
and sunlight obviously waking you. You guys don't have a window, so as far as you know.
Yeah, I'll head back to the tavern.
Okay. making your way back, you can see there's a couple of boats that are making their way in or out, depending on what way they're going, obviously. What's wrong with me? No, but you can see there's a few small fishing boats in that are coming in and out. And on the horizon, or out further, you can see there's a couple of larger ships making their way in. As you head into the tavern, you can see there's a barkeep there, not really doing anything. He's sort of just kicking back, reading a book at this point, as there's not really anyone to serve. There's a few people that are hanging around, but they're doing a similar thing. A couple of people eating some breakfast. You guys make your way down, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually.
So you come down just about in time to see Tordek come in. And the
Why don't
day
you share the room with your wife?
is about yours.
Why do you share your room with your wife?
Well, you don't know where he went, necessarily.
I just dipped.
Because you guys...
Oh, we worked up. We worked up.
Woke up. Why is everybody just going like?
Yeah, nobody can speak tonight.
Full
It's really
quiz.
good.
Don't worry, I can never speak.
True, actually.
Yeah, we woke up after.
I just had a brewing character idea. You just don't speak common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
We woke up after. I was just thinking out loud. That's all.
Yeah. We never would know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, sorry, go on.
Let's get some breakfast.
Let's get some quests.
Let's get some breakfast.
Get some quest.
Yeah.
The person is glowing.
Has anybody got an exclamation mark?
Make a perception.
You see someone with a fucking exclamation mark tattoo on their forehead.
Where's skills?
Why don't you just look for
That'd be a
like...
real cool way to do
That
quest.
spells. Fuck. Skills. What was it? Perception.
Yeah.
15.
No.
Why don't you just look for town, like the town board or something?
Yeah. I just wanted to make it that easy.
Buy some breakfast.
It'd cost you maybe a silver just to get some like bacon and egg cooked up.
Sounds good to me. How much did you pay for that stew?
A lot.
I'm gonna say it to the person,
Like 3 silver.
to the keep.
I got breakfast in bed.
He's reading his book.
Can I roll sway?
What did you say?
I got breakfast and bed. Like bed and breakfast.
So he's sitting there reading his book and you sort of just goes back to reading.
Oh, yeah. Looks like I'm going hungry this morning.
We could just buy some fruit.
Yeah, I'll get some cornflakes, please.
$1 gold.
He goes over and sort of goes back into the back room, comes back a couple of minutes later with just like this slush porridge kind of mix.
Cool.
You
How much was it?
go. Silver.
Oh, sorry, you would say. Thanks, Diggin.
Well, I'm sort of just assuming, but yeah, okay, I'll be more direct with making sure I charge you guys.
I was hoping to get away with that.
Where's the closest trader?
He's like,
Yeah, damn it. Keep.
depends on what you're looking for.
I've got a sword and a crossbow to sell.
You could probably try the armory just behind the tavern here. You head out, go away from the docks. It's you can't miss it really. He'll probably be open in half an hour or so.
Just stand out front.
Hello!
Hello.
Probably be there, but you may not be accepting customers for a little while.
Well, I'll finish eating and then go there.
He gives you a nod, goes back to his book.
You probably want to see him, don't you?
I don't really know.
All of you would probably notice at this point that while Tordek has rejoined you, you haven't, like, he disappeared last night and he's come back. None of you have seen him eat. nor do you know where he stayed.
With the rats. Where he belongs.
I don't really question on Eden.
No one gives a fuck.
I know it's part of his secret backstory, but I'm like,
Giving him a sly look.
he's not actually a good cleric. He's a fucking scumbag cast out of his fucking
Nah, I don't notice anything.
order.
Fuck, I hope so.
He's a eunuch.
Actually, a very simple answer, but never mind.
What? No. Well, yes, you are a
No,
eunuch.
like, yes.
Okay, so you finish up your meals.
Maybe he has no stomach.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to head out?
Poor guy.
Do you want to head out towards the traders?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yes. Maybe he's not actually a cleric.
Okay.
He's a warlock. He's a wizard.
Yes.
Nah, quite clearly says cleric
That's a
right there.
fake sheep.
Yeah.
That's too many smart letters.
Pretending to be
I'd
like.
actually believe that.
That is so cool.
If anyone was going to do it at this table, it'd be you.
There's a story on Reddit about that.
I'm not actually listening.
I can't remember what class they were playing though.
I'm a bard.
I think they were a warlock and convinced their party they were a fighter.
Okay, this is slowly devolving into nothingness.
Fair.
So, you make your way out and following the directions of the barkeep, head around to the district that you sort of went through last night. And sort of having a look around at the buildings, you can see some of the forges are beginning to fire up. You can see a small amount of smoke coming out of a lot of the chimneys. And you can see as you make your way back towards the buildings, you can see there is one that's inscribed with a pair of crossed swords. And as you make your way up, you actually catch this sort of large, burly man carrying out some displays. It looks like some racks that he's probably going to sit weapons on and that sort of thing. But yeah, you assume that this would be the place.
Yes, it is.
Are you open?
Oh, that's going to be loud. Sorry,
It's not open, he's a blacksmith.
I'm the worst. I do this all the time. He sort of turns around and goes... he
He's
sort of
centaur.
he sort of turns around and says, yeah, I will be in a minute or two. Just give me some time to set up if you don't mind."
Okay.
2.
Wait around.
You can see, so he goes back in through the door,
Takes him.
and he comes back out with sort of a few swords and that. You can see he's not going far. He's probably just stacked them inside the door overnight. And comes back out, sets them down while he's looking at you. Goes back in.
Do you want a hand?
Job.
Comes back out, sets another 2 down. Nope. Goes back in, grabs another couple. Comes back out. This time he's got a crossbow and a bow and that. Sets him down. What do you want?
So what you unpack with your belly muscles.
Why are you so
Your
weird?
character say that.
Yes. It wasn't old lady, you know.
It was pretty old lady.
He sort of sighs. What do you want?
When?
I want to sell you this short sword
He's not a slave, you can't sell him.
and this light crossbow.
Try and sell him is really good. They've murdered thousands of people.
Short sword and the crossbow. I'll give you 20 gold for the pair.
Not bad.
With the bolts for 21.
With the bolts for 20.
1.
And the copper.
He just doesn't say. He looks a little bit confused.
I'll take the 20.
Alright.
1.
He goes back in. He comes back a moment later with a stack of coin. Drops it in your hand. Alright. And he takes the crossbow, sort of looks down it, checks the limbs, takes it, sits it straight on the rack. So, alright.
How much for that crossbow?
25 gold.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, this is fine.
Yeah, I'll sell a hand axe as well.
The hand axe, he's like, I'll give you 3 gold for it.
Scott's
He
like,
pulls that out of his pouch. It looks like he's got a little bit on him. Hands that over. Gives it a flick. Slams it into one of the displays.
how much for the hand axe?
5 gold.
I kind of want to buy it back just for shits and gigs.
Go on then.
And then I'll sell it back. Want this hand axe for 7 gold.
Is there anything else I can help you with, or do you want to just watch me set up my store?
Do you make the weapons here, or do you merely sell them?
I just trade them.
Just trade them? Okay.
See, if you're looking to have something made, there's a few blacksmiths down the road here, and he sort of leans out and points down towards. You can see there's a few chimneys that are starting to bellow more and more smoke as it looks like the forges are starting to fire up. For weapons, you could try the blacksmith down there. If you're looking for something a bit more out of the ordinary, there's a full forgery. If you go down and around a little bit more, you'll find it. It's a big iron place. It's hard to miss.
Thanks for that.
I'm gonna stand here and watch you set up still.
Okay. Don't steal anything.
Can do.
What's that over there?
He goes back and he keeps bringing some stuff out. You can see he starts to bring out what appears to be some sort of tall rack with a couple of timbers joined together. That he sort of brings that out, sets it down, goes back in. You can see he starts to bring out some like chainmail that he puts over it. Sort of sets all that up. But you can see he brings out a fair bit of stuff, and then he goes back, disappears into the shop, and you can see one of the walls of it is actually like a big lift up thing. So you can sort of open up that wall and see out, make sure nobody's stealing anything. But yeah, he sort of opens that up and sticks some props in. You can see he goes back to in the store, like going about his business.
Top thing. Cool. We going anywhere else? You still gonna watch it?
You can see he's like, he occasionally like awkwardly just sort of like,
Have you finished setting up?
yeah. You hear from like echoing in the shop.
Can we come back tomorrow morning?
What time do you close?
Why?
So I can come and watch.
You just hear, you don't hear a reply. You just hear like this grumble.
You know, you're really good at making friends.
We'll be back at 5.
We'll be back when the sun starts to touch the land.
We probably wouldn't be alive if that was happening.
Great. Fantastic. I look forward to it. At least bring more things for me to buy if you're coming back.
Can do.
By this stage, a little bit of time's passed, and you can hear like the hammers of the forges
Yes.
echoing from down the street behind you. Looking back towards the docks, you can see over the top of the buildings there's actually a couple of high masts that look like a couple of ships have arrived in port. And yeah, you actually hear from the south some loud ringing bells as well that seem to
seagulls.
echo. Yeah, there's seagulls everywhere here.
Nice.
Catch one.
I'll be one.
But yeah, you
You fucking sound like one anyways, so.
I'll just sit on the dock.
you can see the time that you've spent waiting here. Like occasionally carts go by and that, moving goods around. A large cart goes past that looks a little bit out of the ordinary to what you've seen before. It's actually got a large like iron cylindrical thing fitted to the back of it. It essentially looks like a tank. Not an army tank, like a water tank.
I was about to say, I get in the panzer. I'm gonna start shooting shit.
Sure. What do you want to do? What do you want to head to?
Did you have something you wanted to
Northwest.
do?
Yeah, I've
Look at me last.
I got someone in town that I've meant to meet up with. I don't really know. All I really know is that he's a smith. I don't even know if he's still in town or not, so I mean, we can go have a look, but
It's a good start. I have nothing else to do.
I
You wanna
don't
go?
have the page that I need. Feels good.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Just walk to the first smith we find.
Town hall.
Okay, so if you follow the sound of the hammer striking the anvil, you sort of make your way up, which is the direction that he pointed previously. And you make your way up, and pretty quickly you find yourself back at the building you passed the night before, which has the large sort of furnace out the front. And is this going to work? Sure. I don't know why I don't have this installed on this tablet already, but
Have what installed?
Discord.
Disgusting.
Anyway, but you make your way up, and you can see there's a young halfling is what I'm trying to think of. I nearly called it a hobbit again. Halfling.
We're going to the ring.
I say young, but
Oscar.
he's probably
Taking the hobbits.
I don't know, 30, 40 years old.
12.
Sure.
And
And I fucking hate my life.
What the fuck? Why?
Why not?
this is wearing The Simpsons.
What?
But seeing you approach, he sort of turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, can I get you something?"
Can we watch?
I'm looking for a smithy around here. It goes by the name of Ublin, I believe.
No, there's no Ublin here.
But there's an Oblin and an Eblin.
I'm really annoyed because I
album.
fucking again. I thought I was prepared.
Fucking hate how that's a fucking vow.
I can pull that up here.
Oh,
It's
no.
fine.
No, no,
It's
no.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I've been looking at you for the past 30 seconds.
I'm Kilsey. I'm the apprentice here. I just run the simple things, but the master is inside. But he's not. Who did you say you're looking for?
Ublin. I'm not sure if he's still in town or if he works at a different smeltery. I don't really know.
Ublin.
All I know is he was a smithy around here at some point.
Doesn't ring a bell. I guess you could try the foundry. They might know. I don't know.
Cool.
Alright.
Good luck.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Ublin.
Get on that.
Good start.
Goes back to stacking some coal.
Better than
and
having
stuff.
no information, I
Do you
guess.
want to watch him stack Carl?
So it's not very far. You can actually see the forge from here. Looking up, you can see there's a large.
A sign that says "I'm Ublin."
You can see there's a
Ublin is
large
here.
actual fence around this place. It looks like it's not necessarily open to the public, but there is a gate which is open. But it leads up to this large stone building, which seems to have this sort of large iron structure built out the side of it. But yeah, you can see this opens up through the gate onto a pathway and up to a large iron door, which goes into the actual building. Cool. Make a... Your passive is probably high enough. As you're walking along, you actually notice something that you didn't pick up on in the night. Along these streets, now that you're back in sort of away from the docks, you see running along these streets is these large iron bands along the road. Something that you've never seen before. There seems to be two sets of them that run along these roads and almost follow them.
Touch it. Might be electricity.
Oh, they're exposed.
Yeah, touch
You've
it.
probably been walking on them without realising.
Am I dead?
Yes.
Please, Johnny.
Am I dead? Amazing.
Is this real life?
Or is it
I assume it's just to keep carts on the road easier.
A sea of Fanta would not be fun.
What the fuck? What?
Because he says it's
So these tracks, now that you sort of pay a bit of attention to them, are actually, they're flush with the ground, but off to each side of them on the inside, there's like a groove cut away
Maybe it's a
next to
train.
them.
I like trains.
Scott gets hit.
No, we all did.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, just kind of look at it and be like, don't think I've seen a road like this before, I guess, but
You want some help?
sure, if you want to look at the road.
I just. Ooblin!
No, that's not how.
I feel like you hear this, and you turn around to see like a couple of people that were like walking past and like, keep going off about their business.
I feel like
Do you want to try?
we should just talk to people instead of shouting out.
I found it's pretty effective.
Well, I'm sure it is, but it also isn't the most polite way of doing things.
John!
How badly do you need to meet this guy?
What are you doing?
Well,
Nothing.
Oh, for fuck.
really, no. I'll just continue walking towards the place.
Okay, so you want to head up and into this building?
Yep.
Okay, so you make your way in, and as you head in, this building's quite warm, even though the room that you enter is quite small. There's a large wooden desk that runs along one side, and you can see there's a gnome in there. And she sort of looks over and says, "Can I help you?"
I've been told that you might be able to help me out here. I'm looking for a person named Ublin. I don't really know anything more than that.
This place is flammable.
You should yell.
Okay.
Don't
We
get off.
have many people that work here. I will have a look for you. Just a moment. And you can see she drops down from the desk and goes over. You can hear like some drawers opening. And then she comes back and you see her hop back up onto her stool. And she sits there and she goes, Ublin, was it?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, he was a smith around here at some point, but that's really all I know.
Ublin. You can see she's like flicking through some parchment. No, I don't see any Ublin here. You sure he worked here?
Oh, no, to be honest, I'm not. I just had a chat at the forge over there, and they said to come over here. You might be able to help me
I
out.
whispered in your ear. Do you want to try my method?
No.
She says, well, I think you've been a little bit misinformed. I don't have any record of him here. I'm trying not to slip into an Irish accent. I'm still fucking doing it.
Do the American one again. Do Canadian. Do Brazilian.
I'm Burrow. I'm Burrow. You've been led wrong. Okay. It's fine. I can't like jump into an accent when somebody says do it. Anyway, it's
Stay
fine.
right.
I just have to slip into it by accident.
Like a coma.
Just have to slip. What's so uncalled for?
That's great.
She's like,
What's so fucking
I don't have any record of him working here.
Just came to slip it.
There's a few other places. If he was a blacksmith, he might have worked in one of the outskirts or at the stables. Perhaps they sometimes hire smiths to do horseshoes and stuff. I don't know. I can't help. He doesn't work here, or at least he hasn't recently.
It's alright. Thank you for your time.
Well, we tried.
Yeah.
Let's go find the notice board and fight some things.
No, we've already got a quest. It's fine, Ublin.
Oh, bad.
Or is it a side quest we forget
So
about?
are there any
We
other,
complete it
like,
at the end of the game?
Plumes of smoke that I can see.
Yeah.
This is one
So,
of the two recommended.
as you come back out, you can
You've
see.
heard that for 19.
And just
As you come out of there, so off to your left, which is sort of down towards the coast a little bit more, but a lot further south than you have been, you can see there's various small plumes of smoke coming up from over there. But the two from like the blacksmith and the foundry are sort of the two large ones.
Why are you trying to find him?
I came over here to get some materials so that I could, smith better weapons, find some minerals, some adamantite and whatnot. I highly doubt that he has any, but I've been told that he might at least be able to start me out on the right path, but... Yeah.
This is proving harder than you thought.
Pretty hard on them.
Yeah, I
Proving harder.
I was like, well,
Why? Like,
didn't really expect finding him to be the hard part.
did you smoke a fucking death stick? What? Hello?
did you put
I
that?
keep looking over at you, and you're just like,
He's got something else on his mind.
Dick.
His car got
What?
hit today.
Yeah. About
nice.
that.
Good job.
Have I got the death stick yet?
No, I said I'll have to do it
He
later.
said that.
Yeah, later.
Yeah,
Now
when
is
I'm
later
not
from before.
running the
Just
game.
smoke it now, and then he won't have to add it.
It's an option.
I don't want to smoke a death stick.
Okay.
Alright.
What do you want to do?
Eat it.
Well, if you've got any
Just
ideas
eat
to
it.
pass the time. No, I don't want to just walk around shouting out his name.
It's effective.
I'll talk to some people at some point.
Oh yeah. Who are you now?
Do we want to go look at the message board?
Sure.
You're very quiet.
Who's quiet?
You don't talk much, do you?
He took a vow of silence.
as well as a vow of chastity.
That wasn't my choice.
Celibacy, even?
That's
Um,
why his wife sleeps around.
Did you see his face? We're not married.
So,
It's an open relationship.
where are you headed to? You want to find a board?
Yeah, message
We
board.
want quests.
Okay, where do you want to head to?
Middle of the city.
Quest board.
Okay, so middle of the
Middle
city.
of the trading area.
Okay, sure.
Middle of the city
Is
is the
that big
fort.
fuck off castle?
So yeah, so as you sort of make your way back down past the blacksmith and back towards the sort of the armory and that area, you sort of make your way into these small buildings that all appear to have these presented shop fronts. Looks like this is sort of the main, almost the main drag, if you will, where there's various displays of fresh food and fruit and like clothing, various
What's wrong with
I'm like, vroom, you're like, oh, that's a fucking weird sound.
various general supplies, household goods, and various other things are all displayed as you make your way through this area. You can see as you go past these buildings and into like off this main straight street and into behind where there's more of these smaller stalls and that, you can see there's actually a well which mounted to one side of it is a board that seems to have various scrolls and parchment nailed to it.
What before you found?
That's fine. I'll just expedite. It's yeah. Sure.
We were just gonna keep looking till we found one.
Yeah. I know. That's why I said.
I don't like this one. Can we get a new one?
You sure? Where do you want to go?
No.
We'll find another
Let's
well.
no. Let's look at this one.
Alright, fine. Is there any wars we can participate in?
You'd have to find someone to ask.
Just gonna start looking at the jobs.
I read some of the jobs on the message board.
So on here, there's various bits and pieces between like wanted to buy posts and various other things. But ones that, out of the ones that catch your attention, you can see there's a notice that's asking for.
Kill 3 spiders and so
You can see there's a notice asking for some strong arms to intimidate within the city.
Got those.
And another one asking for the word escapes me. I just had it.
Is it escape?
Like a low key, someone to look into some investigations with to look into some disappearances without raising suspicion. The last is looking for someone to settle a trade dispute, no questions asked.
Oh, that sounds a little bit ominous.
No.
I like the no questions asked one.
No.
That's a little. I mean, we could do it lawfully. We don't have to murder the person.
No questions asked.
Exactly, so we can do it lawfully. Doesn't state that the person needs to be murdered,
Oh yeah,
just
just
that
want
they
to
can be.
break some more hands.
Well, if the person deserves it. There's a difference between breaking into an innocent person's house and punishing a bloody ambush.
I can still come second. That's they're going to go 6-0.
Yep. What do you want to do?
I reckon we do the no questions asked.
Disagree.
I reckon the second one sounds fun.
You have to talk more before you get an input.
So I.
That's in character
What was,
as
the,
well.
what was the other one?
Disagree. He's just whittled it down to like not even arguing. It's just like disagree. And you can make up what I'm
We
saying.
could be some
in your mind.
intimidating guards, I assume, based on the first one.
Guards.
Where are we
That's
gonna
what it
get?
sounds like.
Where are we gonna get guard?
An intimidating presence within the city.
So one or the other. So got to be quite intimidating,
Yeah.
regardless.
Or we could be, what was the other one? Look into some disappearances without causing a scene.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not gonna be great at that.
Me neither, but it sounds like fun at least.
Yeah.
But the other one's no questions asked.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't want to go around murdering people.
I'll ask questions.
Nobody said anything about murder.
Agatha did.
No questions asked.
I'm down to burn people.
Yeah.
Do we want to take on that quest?
Whichever one you'd like. Look at
Let's settle it, and we'll intimidate them.
I'm fine with taking the last one, as long as you don't murder them.
I wasn't going
As
to
long as I
murder
get
them. You're the one that's done worse things than I have.
I'm not murdering them, I'm just sending their spirit somewhere else.
No.
Stabbing knees and breaking hands.
Yeah.
Stabbing knees and smoking trees.
It's Harrison Jones.
On Triple J.
That's Haddison, not Haddison.
Haddison.
There's no O. It's a comma.
What the fuck do you think the O is in Harrison?
Oh my god.
There's not O, isn't it? Just Hazard.
Haddis N.
Has
No, not Haddison.
I think he said has it!
There's no R.
No.
Is it?
It's just got a line on top.
Sure.
Name's Jones.
A rip off the trade dispute one. No questions asked.
Okay.
I rip off the other one.
Which one?
Just gonna pocket all of them.
I may as well.
Just a random one.
Okay.
What's it say?
It says looking to purchase 4 dairy cows.
This one's for you!
I can find us some.
I've already found 3.
Fair effort.
You fucking dairy cow.
Yeah.
It's your
Give me
favourite
some
insult.
fucking milk.
So fun fact, I turned off our mature audiences recommended thing.
Oh, no. Wasn't that bad.
Oh no, it's fine. I wouldn't have turned it off if I was too concerned.
So, let's go follow this.
Does it say where to meet him? Where to sign a contract of any
Let's
sort?
go
or-
steal some cows.
So you can see a lot
Let's
of
go.
these, notes are all signed with a couple of letters and a couple of numbers. Not many of them seem to have a name or anything attached.
Numbers.
Make an investigation.
Come on, Green Rock.
I feel like it's probably not a phone number. Just putting it out there.
Carry a picture
You
number.
don't, you don't fucking know.
Probably more like an address
20.
or something.
Okay, so you're sort of looking at these, immediately put 2 and 2 together, and remember going around to the blacksmiths and the armory, and now going through this trade district. You noticed a lot of these buildings seem to be designated a code, which was 2 letters and 2 numbers. Even the stalls that are sort of around you, these small stalls, all seem to have inscribed on them somewhere quite large letters and numbers to sort of indicate what they are.
Is there any sort of pattern to the letters? and
Yeah.
numbers? Cool, that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, so you can see like the area that you're in is labelled BA and then various numbers. And as you made your way back the other way, there was CO and various other things. You could find your way around depending on what's listed on it.
Where do we need to go?
So the one that you've got, which is the no questions asked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is labelled RE17.
Rectal examination.
Number 17.
Yeah. 16 times a day is not enough for me.
Your character would say that.
Fuck yeah.
So
Let's go roll.
Let's start heading there.
you want to head out and look for that.
Yeah.
17.
So as you make your way back towards the centre of town, towards the hill fort in the middle,
There's a town map.
you notice there is
Yeah, is there a town map on the board?
no, there's not.
That would have been convenient.
You notice there are various signposts around,
So
and
nice.
seeing them in the day now, you can see they point COVERE sort of in different directions, and you can see this one in particular has right. I don't have the map up anymore. Where are you coming from? That way.
Just make up a direction.
Yeah, no, it's fine. There is a logic to it, but without it up, I won't worry about it. But you can see it's got like RE 1 to 10 sort of thing, and then a direction. But you can follow that up, and you see as you go along, you start to see these numbers appear. And yeah, eventually you make your way along these what appear to be residential buildings,
Oh, that's what it stands for.
and eventually come across RE 17.
I like my first dance of those.
It's the residential, the 17th residential building. Residential is hard to say with that rolling R there.
Residential. You gotta get a bigger roll on it.
Yeah.
Residential! And in the blue corner!
Sure. Travelling Thurston. Sure. What do you want to do?
What's the building look like that way?
It's
got
a small.
roof, full walls.
It looks like it's probably a stone building, yet it's been rendered with some sort of clay or cement
Just like an oval.
sort of finish. But yeah, a tiled roof. It's sort of like a modest house. It definitely doesn't look, poor, but it's definitely not one of the like manors that are closer to the fort in the center.
Knock, knock, knock.
Okay, so you're taking point.
Sure.
Wait, is this where we're meant to be doing the mission, or is this where we're seeing something?
Look, I don't know. How do you knock though?
Changes very
With
much
that-
how we're treating
This
this.
door opens, and you can see there's a human woman inside, and she goes, "Oh, can I help you?"
We're here for some sort of job.
I just hold up the bit of paper.
That.
Ah, right. And she sort of leans out, has a look up the street. All right, come in.
That
Yeah,
seems
right.
suspicious.
Walk in.
Okay,
No
is everyone
questions
going in?
asked. Of course, it's suspicious.
I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna ask one question.
If she causes trouble, I'll just pull her to death, Steve.
I don't know what that question's gonna be, but
Do we have to kill them?
no.
No.
No, we don't.
No, that's the question.
What does the RE stand for?
So
I was thinking, what's your favourite colour? But
she leads you into what appears to be basically a dining room. This small table in the center of the room. It's a little bit cramped with 5 of you in there, but she leads you in. She says, "All right, you definitely seem capable." Yes.
Don't worry about
I-
her. She's seen her.
Would just like to know
ignore the witch.
what what do you know? What?
Literally nothing.
We don't know who you are. We don't know where we are.
Well, we know where. Well, we're in residential building 17 of Calavan, on the Isles of Tolkala.
That's the most we know.
She looks a little bit confused, but she's like, just understand, this is a sensitive topic. I just want to know that you understand that, and this will stay here.
I have lots of sensitive parts.
Please tell
I
me
like-
when you
I
say
like the
creepy shit that your voice
I like the idea that his character has like these two voices that just like occasionally come through. Yeah, I need to know that what we discuss here will stay here, whether you take the job or not.
You have my word.
Sure, I guess this is as close to an agreement as I'm going to get, and I'm
Don't
running.
snitch.
I'm getting more and more concerned as time goes on, so I'll take any help I can.
Want and demand.
We are the demand.
With a very like a raised eyebrow, she looks back across you again. She goes, "You're not from here, are you?"
No.
What gave it away?
She's like, "Have you been in Caliban long?"
Oh, half a day?
And
10 hours, 42 minutes, and 16 seconds.
where
Well,
you're,
fuck you too then.
where you're from, elves and half-elves are common and socially accepted and treated as equals, yes?
Yes.
You make it so hard. Not in a good way. Sign up to that. You may have noticed since you've been here, depending on how observant you are, there's no elves here.
Now that you mention it, there's not a lot.
Honestly, hadn't noticed.
Bath ran off. Like he was human.
You're an elf dickhead.
Perhaps I'm not the best person to explain this whole situation, but I feel like if you're new, you probably need to realise that elves aren't treated very well here.
Well, that's not fair.
Since the city was taken over, they were belittled. They were beaten. They were taken from their homes, and it seems the guards either ignore it or are a part of it. Some friends of mine, I helped them escape the city one night. I can't go to the guards because aiding criminals, as they label them, is a penalty in itself. And I haven't heard from them. I stopped hearing from them around a week back, and I don't dare venture out to look for them myself, but if you were prepared to look into it, I could perhaps pay you for your time.
Dwarves hate us. Scott kills it.
If you can at least go and find out that they're safe, if perhaps their mail is being intercepted, I'd just like to know that they're safe.
We should walk out the door, knock on the door. Yeah, there.
Goes out, hits Y, waits 12 hours.
I mean, sure.
I mean, this could be as easy as going and seeing that they're okay and coming back and reporting that to me, or
Where are they?
if
Well, that's a
the worst is to
rude way
have
to ask
happened, I don't know what you'll face, but
I'm not a lady, of course I'm rude.
Is it? Wouldn't you just rather be straight to the point? Where were they heading?
See, that's better. I think it's the voice, honestly.
I purchased a small property outside the city
It's not my fault that
a
you're
couple
rich.
of hours by horse.
Isn't it?
I told them to go there. I received word from them that they'd arrived, and we exchanged correspondence for a week or two.
Maybe they just don't like you anymore.
Since then, it's possible. If that's the case, then that's fine. I just want to know that they're safe.
Which direction is it in?
Do you have a map? Or
Yes.
Well,
let me mark it on your map.
I mean, we have a bloody map of the island.
If
not
you
a
have a
flag.
more detailed map of the Caliban area,
I don't. There's various places in the city that would be able to do that for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's go to a cartographer.
Yeah, have a map that I apparently stole from your pockets at some point.
If we actually go buy a map, do you have
See,
a handout map
so
for us?
this I do, but it's not printed out because the printer's cactus.
Send in the group chat.
No.
What if we bought a map?
This map is literally Tony drew this on the road, so it's pretty much as you see it here. It's not the most detailed.
Shit effort, if you ask me.
But how accurate is it?
She says, if
This was told
you head
like
back out,
1,000 years ago.
head through the south gate and make your way. And she sort of points as she's explaining it to you and says, if you follow a road down here, because there's no fucking roads on this map.
Yes.
She's like, follow the main road south, and you'll follow that for an hour or so, and eventually you'll come to a split in the road. Follow that to the east, and she continues to give you some directions, and basically points as best she can to where it is. You sort of take down on the map the directions.
Yep. Isn't that right, Lucky?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, no, it's not right.
Quick question here.
Is this the death?
Say we were to get in trouble for contacting them for some reason. How strict are the guards here? Could we plead negligence, say that we're not from here and we didn't know, or?
The guards here, I'm sure you've noticed, they aren't necessarily a legitimate force. The guards here are more mercenaries and bandits themselves, but when the city got taken, however long it was, this is how it came to be. It was ruled by whoever was strongest. So now, I mean, the city, we survive and everything, we still get to live here and trade, so it's okay, but it's not like it used to be.
Now, one
Most
thing we have to discuss.
Let's
sentences,
go grey side.
thievery is normally met with an amputation or a severe beating. It's not
See?
necessarily,
What I did was probably legal then.
it's not lawful
You said that was legal in the
imprisonment
first place.
or being trialed and
the same
sentenced appropriately. It's however the guards feel at
I
the
was
time.
just going to leave them with nothing.
So what, they can get more equipment and bloody rob other people?
If that's the way they want to live, yes.
Their hands will heal eventually.
Yeah, then hopefully they'll be fucking scarred and not able to use them properly or something. Well, that's probably a bit harsh. More to the point, maybe they'll rethink their life.
Now onto
Anyway.
bigger issue.
She's like,
We are the right people for the job.
We're the Rat Project.
yeah.
How much is the payment?
Well, it would depend on your time. If you go there and find them and they're fine and you come back, I will give you something appropriate. If
What if they're dead? Says your voice.
What if they're dead?
It's somehow like not as harsh.
well,
Yeah.
either way, I will compensate you appropriately for your time.
How do you want proof?
I'm gonna take a photo with them.
I trust that your word. I mean, why would you lie?
For money.
Oh,
How dangerous is this?
well, it shouldn't be. I mean,
Is it
the
fast
guards. The guards don't patrol that far out from the city. As long as nobody suspects you, which they shouldn't, unless you go running your mouth on the way out of here. You shouldn't have anything to be worried about.
Does their property have a name?
The property I sent them to. No, it was just I bought it off an old farmer. It was an old farmstead.
Describe it to me.
Looks like a house.
I've been there once. It was an old rundown. It was a nice house, but it was
Was
quite
it run
rundown.
down or was it nice?
It was a large
Can be
house,
both.
but it was quite run down.
Alright, see ya.
We need some sort of prepayment,
For what?
just in case you're not here, in case we get attacked.
We take the house if she's not here.
That's a good deal.
Are you going to fight them off with gold?
Who?
If you get attacked?
Compensation.
We'll bribe them to not die.
Are you not capable?
Do you really want to ask that?
At this point, you hear a noise that you haven't heard before, a distinct metallic click. She says,
Is that a gun?
am I able to trust you or not?
Yes.
Why are you getting into a hole? Shut up! Don't listen to the kid.
He's young and naive. Do not listen to him.
I've asked for you to come to me looking for work. I'm not forcing you to do it. If you're worried about payment, don't do the job.
Analysis and hopeless with intelligence.
Well, that's kind of racist, don't you think?
I'm cold for you, old hag.
Alright, let's go.
I'll leave the room if that makes you feel better.
Make me feel better.
Let's just go and
Thought
talk
you
to
were
the
all
people.
leaving. She's just like, she's quite flabbergasted at just what has happened.
Just-
Like,
Ignore him, we'll go talk to him
Alright.
for you.
Let's go. Fucking hell.
okay, so you all make your way out.
See ya.
Making your way back out, she follows you to the door and shuts it, and you hear a clunk after you leave.
Oh, she was nice.
He's like accepted the job, and you're like, alright, let's go. And then it was like, oh yeah, by the way, fuck you. Just all of a sudden turned around. Okay, what do you want to do? We got about 10 minutes left. If you want to do anything, or
Start making our way.
downtown,
Yeah. Moving fast.
walking fast.
I fast travel.
You
Do you have
where are
any
you going to
pictures
fast
yet?
travel to?
Southgate.
You haven't been there. You haven't discovered that point yet.
Is there any point between here and the Southgate that I've been to?
No.
I
Let's
slow
start
travel.
walking towards the south gate.
Yep.
So you start making your way down. Let me just check where you go past in case there's anything super interesting.
Fast travel to Port Yellis.
Why?
Not.
So I'm going to open on that screen again. Good deal.
No, it's not fast travel as in like instant. It's fast travel as in like non-play, but time actually passes.
No, instant.
Um,
We're there.
okay, so as you make your way down,
Down,
well, you do
down,
actually.
down.
Oh no, yeah, from the residential down through there. That's fine. You actually come across a probably one of the largest buildings you've seen in the city,
No, let's ignore it.
which is this large corner house. It looks like it's about 3 stories high. And looking at it, you can see it's got balconies on each of the levels, but each of these balconies are segmented into maybe 10, 12 feet wide, each of them with a door and a window. It looks like this is almost like a common house, like a flats for poorer people and that sort of thing.
What's the address on it?
It would be RE1, RE01. Going past here, you can see the South Gate house sort of coming into view as you pass this building. Off to the side of it, you can see built just off the wall is this large building with an open top. You can see a few guards patrolling back and forth with bows up the top. And quite a few guards sort of making their way in and out. You get the feeling this is probably the guardhouse or the barracks. And you can see there's a few guys hanging around sort of throwing darts and that sort of thing, occasionally throwing them at each other. But yeah, they sort of linger around this Southgate area. Making your way through and heading down to the Southgate, you can see this one's open as well.
You just looked so empty right then.
Yeah, I know. I keep looking over it. It's just like I hate my life.
I just want to die.
But you make your way to the South Gate, and sort of as you're making your way out, the guards sort of almost give you a bit of a hard time again. Sort of.
Swear to God, I'm gonna
What are you
do
doing?
those bugs.
Leaving the city?
Oh, yeah. What for?
Stroll?
Yeah. I'm going to put stroll in my ledger here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
We'll be back later.
Okay.
Do you want my name? Okay.
Sort of looks across all your, stands back, lets you past.
It was lovely chatting with you.
Yeah. Have fun on your stroll.
As we get further away,
You
I go,
too.
like, out of earshot.
Yeah.
Why is everyone in this town such pricks?
Don't know.
Maybe they're all called Grinrick.
Not a prick.
So as you make your way out, the South Gatehouse is quite close to the shoreline, and as you make your way out, you sort of separate from the shore and start heading sort of back inland a little bit. But yeah, you head out that way, start following the directions. A little bit of time passes, and you come to the fork in the road, which is probably a good spot to leave it for
Oh,
next
so there's
week.
no spoons and knives.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll come back next week and continue from here as you head off to investigate the mysterious farmhouse. There's definitely nothing spooky going on there.
Is he giving us a scarecrow?
It's
Oh,
a
no.
spooky Halloween house.
October. I mean, Spocktober.
Sparktober. Yeah. Alright. We will finish up there.
Cool.
And continue this next week. If you're watching, thank you and welcome to the new people. Papa hosted us before, so did Zeno Magnus. So thank you guys for the hosts. You guys are the best. Papa, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a
I
while.
thought I was the best.
Shut up.
You're the
Why would you
worst.
think that?
So Tim, we recorded.
Fucking derail this on a week-to-week basis.
We recorded last night for.
Not wrong.
I'll take that.
Tim and I recorded last night for
Yeah, we
a series that should be going up. The first one should be going up later tonight on the YouTube channel, which is linked down below.
Something yet?
Feel free to check that out.
Check out what we're putting up.
There'll be some other stuff. You guys, I'll just want to chat to you guys before everyone gets up to fuck off very quickly.
So yeah.
For some other stuff. Discord, if you want to know what's happening with this and anything else, the best place to do it is on the Discord. There, I need to put a link somewhere, but the only way to find it at the moment is to put !Discord in the chat, and then it gives you a link. I need to link it in some other places, but that's the best place to find stuff. Next week, everything will be painted, and we'll have some really cool stuff next week, actually.
Hopefully.
No, we definitely will, because I've already got it. I thought we were going to get to it today, and I was going to do a really cool reveal, but we never
I
got
thought
it.
you meant the carts.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be here as well, but fuck
But
it.
we don't need the carts anymore.
Yeah.
We'll just need to buy
Yeah, no, we got some really cool more
Yeah,
like
that's
3D
like
stuff, which is cool. And that's about it. Any other things that I meant to be doing that I keep forgetting?
Wrong 5 discount.
I don't think so.
Did you actually say the name of the YouTube channel?
It's the Rat Project. There's a link to it down below
Rat
if you want to
Project.
check out the YouTube channel.
Currently streaming on twitch.tv/.
Yep.
Bishop.
So
Yeah,
last night we were recording and Tim did an intro to one of the videos, and it was the most painful but hilarious things I've ever had to
I'm
witness.
genuinely going to watch it
Yeah.
just for the fucking intro.
So that'll be going up in a few days.
I think it was episode 2
'cause
where I did the intro.
But yeah, so yeah,
Episode
check
one,
that
yeah.
out. We've got some other stuff coming up. Otherwise, that's about it.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the follows.
Thank you.
How often do you guys play? We play every Wednesday our time. So this time every week.
Wednesday.
Exact
Wednesday.
same time.
Unfortunately, we only play for 3 hours a week because we all have jobs that are pretty restricting and we have
Except
to do
for
stuff.
fucking Jordan.
I have a job.
Jim.
It's just not restricted.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we only get to play for 3 hours a week, but we try to cram as much in as we can, apart from Tim, who just wants to fuck around all the time. But anyway, yeah, it's a brand new campaign, so it's a good time to jump in. If you know anyone that might want to watch it, please do share and do stuff. And otherwise, that's it. I'm gonna go before I keep rambling. So.
Because he's the rambling man.
Yeah, I ramble way too much on these outros. So, cool. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.